Out the door and nobody's walked out. I came here today for me. My good side.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone like to stand. Our pledge today is going to be from the Raymond Henry Post 327, 101 Willow Street, Oliphant. Post Adjutant and Liaison Officer Bob Bartosh, retired Coast Guard veteran, served in Korea War as a quartermaster first class and fulfilled his duties as a navigator throughout his tour, earning a Good Conduct Medal. Junior Vice Commander Paul Yakimovich, retired Navy Coast Guard veteran. Vince Narconis, retired Army veteran. And John Surdich, retired Army veteran who's stationed in Germany. The floor is yours, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your service.
And hut, freeze and arms. Bartosh.
I pledge.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. A true hero of ours in Lackawanna County passed away this past week. He actually celebrated his birthday with this past August, his 102nd birthday, and that is World War II veteran Danny Lucas. And I'd like to just have a moment of silence for Danny Lucas and all of our World War II veterans that are passing away, because they're just such a great part of our history, and they made our country what it is today. And please keep all of them in our thoughts and prayers, especially Danny this week and his family. Danny was quite the man who did so much work for Chopin Davy Post and made sure that he was there for all veterans that passed away along the way to be there at their viewings and their funerals. Thank you. Gentlemen, thank you for your service and thanks for coming in today. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring this Wednesday, January 25th, 2017 Board of Commissioners meeting to order at 10:05 a.m. Commissioners Conference Room. I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, proclamation presentations. At this time, 17-002. We'd like to welcome Tom Clark to our backyard. Tom, this is a much warmer backyard. Would you like to come up to the podium? Sure. You've come into our households over 30-some years, and you meant the world to all of us. And
thank you.
We wanted to have you come in.
Nice to be here.
No.
Nice and dry.
We'd like to stay over by the podium.
We have the forecast, Tom.
Yeah.
Later. Stay tuned. You
Stay
gotta tune in. Yeah. News at noon.
But Tom, we wanted to bring you in, and we have a proclamation for you today. God, from the age of, what year did you actually start?
1982.
1982. Yeah. So since I was 12 years old, I'd be on the edge of my seat in the winter, waiting to see exactly how many inches of snow it would be, because Tom was really accurate. He was the channel to go to. And as much as we welcomed you into our home, you welcomed us into your home, which was the backyard, and to Newswatch 16. And you always had this calming effect on all of us. And I don't care, there could be stuff going on in your life, but when you watch the news and you're part of the news came up, you were so calm, and you always told us exactly what was going on, or if there's something you should be concerned about, or this is going to happen, or to be prepared.
Sure.
And that always mattered. And we just wanted to have you come in as of your, I'm not going to say total retirement, to
Yes.
Acknowledge you and read a proclamation.
Well, thank you so much. Indeed, it is an honor for me to accept this proclamation this morning from the commissioners. And you should know that I've been blessed with having such a long and successful tenure at WNEP, one of the highest rated television stations in the country. And it's one that has given me the opportunity to proudly serve this community over the past 34 years.
Wow.
Some of my fondest memories are when I visited classrooms and spoke to students. And most of the schools I visited were here in Lackawanna County, in particular the Lackawanna Trail Elementary, the South Abington, and Waverly Elementary schools. The kids are great. I love being with the kids. But I look back on the journey, and it's been a fantastic ride. I look back at a very successful career in broadcasting. And now I look forward to being very satisfied in retirement. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. But, you know, doing the weather, telling the weather in the backyard over the past 3 decades and with thousands of families watching at home, you become a member of their families. And they make you feel that way when they see you in person, especially like the loyal viewers in Lackawanna County do when I go around. So this recognition makes me very proud, and thank you. Thank you so much. Okay.
Mr. Cummings?
Well, I've enjoyed watching you as well, and congratulations on 34 years of very well-served broadcasting on the weather. So tink you so much, and I'm so happy to have you here, and I hope you have a wonderful retirement because you certainly deserve it.
Well, thank you. So far, so good. Keep him busy.
Only a
I
couple
can't wait
weeks
till
in.
I am.
My honor. Thank you. Yep.
Commissioner Notarianni?
Congratulations and good luck with your retirement. I hope all goes well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Before I read the proclamation, I do want to bring that to the viewing audience attention. The Boy Scouts, the kids you'd have on TV with you all through the years, it really mattered to everyone in Lackawanna County. And coming into our home every night and making us feel at home, that's what it was all about. And you did that for 34 years. And thank you on behalf of the 214,000 citizens
Wonderful.
of Lackawanna County. Thank you.
Thank you.
Whereas Tom Clark, a household name and esteemed meteorologist, has retired after 34 years of forecast. Today we recognize him for his dedication to the community, his community commitment. Whereas he was born in Delaware County and raised in Drexel Hill, Tom's first weather station was his parents' home. I'm sure they had a lot of fun with that, huh? with the rain gauge in the yard and assorted barometers, thermometers, and indicators in his room. And wind instruments mounted on the roof. Boy, there wasn't any leaks from that roof. Was there any leaks?
I didn't know he was going to go into such detail here. No leaks. No leaks.
You can blame Fran Pantuso for this one.
Fran.
A fear of thunderstorms as a young boy, he turned to a fascination as a teenager. Whereas a Penn State graduate, great, blue, beautiful, Tom earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in meteorology. He partnered with a classmate, Paul Douglas, and provided private weather reports called the Total Weather, the service to WNEP TV. His career would lead to working with radio part-time and on the weekends at WNEP. When the opening became available, Tom was promoted to chief meteorologist at WNEP. His community involvement included many years of being a media chairperson for Bowling for Kids' Sake and benefiting Big Brothers and Big Sisters and numerous other things. Whereas Tom is married to his college sweetheart and meteorologist, all of us know her, Noreen Burke, and they are the proud parents of a daughter, Kristen. In his retirement, Tom plans to enjoy landscaping, gardening, cars, aviation, traveling, and collecting wristwatches and older style weather instruments, which you probably have since you were a kid. Now, therefore, we, Patrick M. O'Malley, Jerry Notarianni, Lorraine Cummings, on behalf of the 214,000 people of Lackawanna County, hereby declare January 25th, 2017 as Tom Clark Day.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow. That was great. Thank you.
Tom, would you like to come up to the dais?
Sure.
Thank you for being here, Tom.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
in person.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
See everything.
All right, everybody looking at me?
Yes.
Three. Commissioner Cummings, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. All smiles. 1, 2, and perfect.
Wow. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy you came. I mean, as a child, we'd be watching. Oh my God. We'd be outside in the street corner. We'd be snowing. We'd go, Tom Clarkson, there's going to be 6 to 8 inches.
Stay tuned. Here comes February.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Good luck to you.
Okay. 17-0020, Small Business Spotlight. Commissioner Cummings.
Duffy Accessories. Who do we have from Duffy?
Maureen Duffy.
Hi, Maureen. Come on up and tell us a little bit about your business.
Hi, thank you first for having me here today. I really appreciate that. I am the owner of Duffy Accessories, which is located at 218 Linden Street. My business is there for 29 years, and I highlight local artists. I have over 250 local artists in my store right now. It's all handmade, handcrafted artisan jewelry. So a lot of it is fair trade, locally made, regionally made, and I'm also a big supporter of the art scene in Scranton. I'm on the board of directors of First Friday Scranton. I'm also the president of the Greenhouse Project up in Naog Park. And I want to say thank you for supporting the arts in our community, because that's one way it brings people once a month to our downtown. I have people that come from Binghamton, from Mount Pocono, once a month into our downtown to support our business. It's a really strong feature for our downtown. So thank you for that.
You talking about First Friday?
First Friday, yes.
First Friday's very good.
Scranton. It is. And every month, all year long, it draws, I mean, I get about 200 people in 3 hours in my doors. So I just want that known, because there's a lot of people here that don't support local, and that kind of irritates me. You get your money from this town, and you should support it. So yes, there's a lot of great things in this town. Support local, dine local, shop. And thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming in, Commissioner
All right.
Cummings.
So, Maureen, you have jewelry and accessories that are they handmade?
Yes, I make them, and I also have the 200 and some artists.
Okay, so how many do you employ?
It's only me and another girl that helps me.
How did you decide to do that?
Well, I did it when I was really young. I had a car accident, and I was coming here a lot, and I rented a little place up on Main Avenue in West Scranton near Garrity's Market. And then I started enjoying this more than New York City. I was commuting back and forth, and then the majority of the time I started coming here. So, and I like it here. The people are amazing.
And you were just making jewelry on your own?
Yes,
in your home,
I had
or?
a business in New York City, a wholesale
Oh, okay.
business. So I had like 1,600 accounts that I would supply handmade jewelry made by me and 3 other people. So it changes every year, different kinds of materials. I go out to the gem show in Arizona. So, yeah, it started from that into a retail store. Now I sell handbags, gift items, local art. So it's not only jewelry.
Yeah, well, I'm a big proponent of small business, and the commissioners voted this business spotlight because I want to make sure that our businesses that are local are recognized, because a lot of people can't afford marketing and advertising and things like that. And I think it's something that we can offer to make sure everyone in our community knows what local businesses are here. It's very difficult. I'm a small business owner. Jerry and Pat are both small business
Right.
owners. So that's why we have the business spotlight, and it's something that I'm proud to be the founder of for
Thank
this
you.
county.
Thank you.
So I'm very happy to have you here. I'm happy that, to hear your story. And the stories are another part of, I think, what makes the fabric of our society. Now, you're a New Yorker, and we stole you, so...
No, I'm from Scranton.
Are you from Scranton?
Yes,
Oh,
I
okay.
come from
Well, you-
9.
but you were working
my
out there?
father's Clarence Duffy. Maybe most of everybody here knows him.
I don't know him.
And, yes, so I'm from West Scranton, right behind St. Anne's.
Oh, great.
So I have...
Literally right behind St.
Right.
But you're
Yeah.
sustaining your income through this small business in our county.
Yes.
And that's, something that's not easy to do anywhere, especially here. So our economy has suffered, and I'm happy to see that you're doing well. So I'm very proud to have you here, and thank you so much for the work that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
To promote your business and our economy. Thank you very much.
And the prices aren't necessarily higher because it's a small business. My price points are between $5 and $50, and I import stuff from Ireland and South Africa, France, Spain.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's like a little museum of gifts. So you don't have to go to a big city to get the feel of like an international business.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
you're able to do something that you enjoy and make a living out of it and help
Great.
our community as well. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Commissioner Terriani?
I am well aware of your family, old friends. My wife frequents your store quite often.
Right.
Yes, I don't get to accessory stores. But I'm very happy that you're here today. Long time, 29 years. It's tough sometimes, but persevere, and you have, and you've done a great job, and everyone's very, very pleased that you're here today, and we're honored to be able to recognize you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maureen, let's talk about where your website, your phone number. Let's talk about those things. So people, if they
okay.
want to, it's in the viewing audience, want to reach out to you, see what you have.
Yes,
or
I'm
come in.
on all social media, Facebook, Instagram. It's DuffyAccessories.com. And the address is 218 Linden Street. I'm in the Forum Towers building between Penn and Franklin. And I'm open every day but Sunday and Monday.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your 30 years of investment in our community. Got to ask you, how was the holiday marketplace at the Globe?
It was in 29 years, and I do shows all over in Philadelphia, Manayunk, Narrowsburg, Honesdale. It was by far the best show Scranton made in my 29 years. Great turnout. I mean, it was nostalgic because it was the Globe store, but
Tree
the
lighting
vendors were
outside.
great. Yeah, it was incredible. And all 3 days were incredible.
Yeah.
I actually had to go back to my store because I sold out of handbags and come back with a grocery cart full of more merchandise because it was gone in like 2 hours. And I had a huge, double space. So,
You know what I thought was pretty neat, because I was on there all 3 days, was when I came in the last day, they had the taped out areas where each
Right.
person vendor would be. I'm walking through, and there's this vendor's missing, that vendor's missing, that one's missing, like probably about 30% of them were missing on Sunday morning. It was because they'd sold out.
right.
And even on Saturday, some of them had sold out by late Saturday.
Yeah.
And
They
just
went
so you-
home to make more chocolates and do all that. Yeah.
Just so you know,
Luckily, I only had a block and a half to go.
planning on doing the same thing again
Oh,
this year, so.
Oh, we should do it
We'd love to
more
have your
often.
attendance. Yeah.
Doesn't have to be first Friday. It could be, we're doing third Thursday now downtown. We're staying open late. We just decided that with the first Friday board because we didn't want to dilute first Friday because it's good.
Yeah.
So now we're just going to add on third Thursday.
Thank you for everything that you've done.
Sure.
And thank you for coming in. And like Commissioner Cummings just said, this is about acknowledging and letting small businesses come in and let them be known, because sometimes they just can't afford
Right.
the advertisement.
Yeah,
But
I don't
thank you for
advertise
everything
them.
that you've done. And thank you for coming to the Globe, and we're hoping to see you there next year. or next
100%.
Christmas. Beautiful.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Certificate of recognition, the County of Lackawanna Board of Commissioners does hereby recognize Duffy Accessories in honor of achieving the designation of a small business spotlighted in Lackawanna County, given this 25th day of January 2017 by Commissioner Patrick O'Malley, Commissioner Jerry Notarianni, and myself, Commissioner Lorraine Cummings. Come on up.
Thank you.
Well, no, thank you very much. I see you're wearing
Oh, yeah, all handmade. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks again.
I'm not breathing.
There you go.
I'm coming by you, Jerry.
It's okay.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Smile.
So much. Continue.
Thank you. I'm running back to work.
Yes, sir. I know. I don't have feelings.
Thanks again. See you soon.
Thanks for coming in. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
They can come in. There's seats in the front if people are in the hallway and need a seat. Joe, could you tell them their seats up here?
17-0033. We're doing a check presentation for Meals on Wheels. Who do we have here for Meals on Wheels?
Kristen Kosen.
Kristen, come on up to the podium.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Talk to us about Meals on Wheels and where people can get in touch if they'd like to become part of it.
Good
I know they
morning.
go through area aging at certain points, but anything that we can do to keep
We have
people fed.
wonderful programs, many programs. Good morning. My name is Kristen Kosen. I'm the Executive Director of Meals on Wheels, serving Lackawanna County. We have the pleasure of serving over 500 individuals every single day, whether they are elderly or young adult disabled, residents, our neighbors, our family members. We have a number of programs that you may or may not be aware of. We do provide meals after hospitalization, which are free of charge to those adults who qualify for 4 to 6 weeks. It's a wonderful program, and it's been proven that nutrition and taking care of the nutritional needs of those recuperating reduces hospitalization and reduces the reoccurrence of long-term or rehabilitative care. So that's one of our very special programs. So not only do we help feed the elderly and the disabled, but those who are coming out of the hospital who perhaps it's a broken leg or a broken hip and you're not able to take care of your own nutritional needs, we can provide for that through generous private funding, through the foundations in this area who believe in supporting, much as the county and the commissioners and our area agency on aging is supports us and supports our mission. So does the residents and our community leaders. So we're thrilled. You can reach us online. We have a website. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We post and tweet and are all over the place. So it's Meals on Wheels of NEPA.org or .com. Either one you put in, you'll get us. It provides all information about our programs. You can reach us by telephone, 570-346-2421. You can email us, message us on Facebook. We'll get back to you within 10 or 15 minutes. Our goal is to provide not only nutritional support, but also that daily interaction that is so important as our neighbors and community members age, and as we leave and go to college or go and our careers take us outside of the area, and maybe we're not able to be there for our parents, our grandparents, our uncles, our aunts, our brothers, our sisters. Meals on Wheels can help you do that with a peace of mind, and not just here but in every county in Pennsylvania.
Jason, was there anything you'd like to add to it, or? Okay. Commissioner Cummings?
Well, I'm very familiar with the Meals on Wheels programs. Most of my clients would receive them in home health when I worked home health. So I appreciate the work. And the biggest advantage of Meals on Wheels is when the delivery person comes to the door and chats for a while, because sometimes they don't eat the meal, they just want to hear the conversation. So,
And that's our the best part. Anybody who volunteers, we're always looking for volunteers. That interaction makes our day as much as it makes the client's day. It really is so rewarding.
Yeah, and it's something they look forward to every day, and just having a conversation with someone, because a lot of them are so alone, and their family might not live here, or they might have passed on already, and it's a very good service, and I appreciate your work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Terrian?
Just thank you for your service, and your facility was one of the first we toured after being elected last year.
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings and myself went down, and you run a great.
Yes, of course.
You run a great program, and we're very lucky to have you here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And we're looking to, because we are in homes every day, we are looking to expand and really meet the needs as our neighbors, as we age as a community. Really to provide those services and more, and to really be a valuable asset. And we couldn't do that without the support of our wonderful commissioners, as well as the Department of Aging and Health and Human Services. We're a very lucky agency.
Thank you. I've also been down to your facility numerous times through the years, Kristen. and I'm sure that the commissioners, and if they haven't, maybe should sign all of us up again. I haven't gone in probably about a year to go for a tour and go deliver lunches. It's exactly what you said. You come to the door, and they're happy just to have you come in the house. And a lot of these homes, the 10, 15 minutes you're there, you might not hear the phone ring whatsoever. Yep. So you might be the only contact these individuals may have except for watching TV. So please, anybody that's in the viewing audience, if there's anybody who'd like to contribute to the Meals on Wheels really matters, and especially your time. Your time is such a necessity. And just that human touch of going out and just delivering a meal to someone, it just really matters. And just the 5 minutes, 5-minute exchange, it does.
It really is.
It really, really matters. And we have a check from money that was raised from the senior health fair. So we'd like to come up. We're going to present the check. Thanks, Kristen. And anyone else that's here from the organization.
I believe Jason is coming too.
Come on, Jason.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for your work. Jason, nice to meet you.
Put you two in the middle.
He's my best friend. I think we're going to do great with this.
What do you think?
Gotta put it down.
Come down front?
Drop it.
I'm on tiptoe.
We're good, here we go.
Now, Kristen, don't try to sign the back of this, okay?
You know, I try that, and it never works. I don't understand why.
Congratulations. Thank you. We'll be down.
Cigar. Inspiration.
Okay. Thank you, Meals on Wheels. Government update?
Yeah, at this point in time, I'd like to say that everything is on track with our proposed plans at the Lackawanna County Government Center. At the Globe, we're progressing on all activity, and I'd like to yield the balance of my time to Keith Williams, the chairman of the Disability Action Committee, who requested to give a report to the commissioners today. And because I got it late yesterday, I didn't get an opportunity to get back to him, and I know it's a very important report, and I'd like to let Keith do that now, if it's okay with the commissioners.
Yes, no problem. We'd like to, Keith, to go by Gary, and we'll get the microphone help. Pull that over for Keith Williams. Keith, good morning. Thanks for being here today.
Morning,
all of us.
Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. I'll be brief because I know you have a busy agenda, but I just wanted to share a quick update with you on some specifics. I don't have dates and times yet, but let me back up. As you know, the Lackawanna County Disability Action Committee has been working on a lot of different initiatives related to accessibility of Lackawanna County properties for people with disabilities. We've been working with Andy and the department about the accessibility of the new government center, and already did one tour. We'll try to make arrangements to do another walkthrough sometime in the future. But what I wanted to share with you today is that one project that the committee is, the commission is working on, is we would like to sponsor, in conjunction obviously with Lackawanna County, to sponsor a fair or an expo. For lack of a better term, right now. We've got the concept together where we'd like to sponsor an event and have agencies that work with people with disabilities, human service agencies throughout Lackawanna County, along with vendors who specialize either in medical equipment, services, whether it's private home health, services for people with disabilities and the elderly, wheelchair supplies, all different types of vendors and associated organizations, to have an expo for over the span of 3, 4, 5 hours, however that may be, obviously open to the public, have it open to various support groups, community organizations. So earlier the end of last week and earlier this week, I was in communication with via email and conversations with the events coordinating staff at the stadium, Rail Rider Stadium, talking to them about the possibility of setting up an event on the concourse, which is, number one, accessible, and number two, would have a high traffic foot traffic area during a game, during a Rail Riders game, looking into the logistics with that. So it appears to be possible. We don't have a date yet. We're looking at the timeline of probably 10 a.m. until 3 or 4 p.m. to try to give a good time frame, a good span for people to be able to get there. But we're working on a date. Personally, I would like to see, and our group would like to see, maybe late June, early July, sometime around there. We want to make sure that we get into the summer weather, make it easier for people to get out and get around. But we're very excited about this, and I'll be keeping you as commissioners and the staff informed of this, and we're hoping that you'll be able to participate at some point during the course of the day, maybe make some opening remarks. And also Joe DiRenzo has been helpful as well with some ideas about this and the logistics. So our commission appreciates the support of Lackawanna County in this, and we're excited about this being the our first event.
Keith, we're here to help you with whatever you need. Yeah, I mean, everybody, this is a level playing field for everyone. So we want to make sure that anything that we can accommodate or help you with, make sure you reach out to Fran and Joe, and I'm sure the Board of Commissioners are here to help you with anything you need of us that day or leading up to it.
That's great.
You know, we're here for you.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Oh, trust me, we'll be asking for help.
Commissioner Cummings?
Yeah.
Anything you need. I'm real happy that you're here. Thank you so much for all the work that you're doing.
Commissioner Terriani?
Thanks, Keith. Great job.
Thank you, Commissioner. And although we, as I said, although we don't have a date in concrete, the commission felt that we wanted to alert you, inform you, keep you updated in the county as well, so that you know that this is on the horizon.
Let us know. Let us know whatever you need.
Will do.
You need with the Rail Riders, you can call us on it.
Thank you.
Keith, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay. Opportunity for the public to address the board on agenda items only.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bob Bolas, Scranton.
Good morning.
On the agenda, I think it was great to see Tom Clark here. You know, we should put his picture here so we can remember who he is and what he was doing for us. And I know many of us, especially in my business, paid attention to the weather. So I hope he enjoys his retirement. Maybe one day we could all get there. On the other part, on 170032, supporting the retention of SCI Waymark, I think what's going on with the state right now is an absolute rush to judgment. They haven't qualified why they want to close the prison. Is it for reasons beyond management? Is it the fact that it's in a condition that it's not fit for human use? They haven't justified anything. I think there's ways that the prison system could become more self-sufficient through use of its inmates, nonviolent individuals who are in for certain things. Maybe could go into the business community, earn an income, and become self-supporting at the prison, pay board, do things like that. There's a lot of things we could do with our prison systems than slamming the door on somebody and say, just go in there and rot and to hell with you, we could care less. You know, you're a bad boy no matter what it was. We have to open up our eyes to the system. And I know what the system's about. I've been in it. I've seen the abuse in it. I've seen disregard for people in it. And I've seen the ability that people that are incarcerated that actually could make better individuals out of themselves given the opportunities. So there are a lot of things we need to do, and I believe the state itself, before they go around and say, we're going to close this one, this one, this one, justify it. And they have not justified one thing through this administration why they want to close Waymart. It's an asset to the community. It's an asset for the people that work there. It's also a good place for people that are incarcerated there. I've hired several people that have been incarcerated at Waymark. About once, twice a week, I get phone calls from inmates at Waymark to just take a minute to talk or do something like that and help them get through what they're going through. So there are a lot of things that could be done to minimize the cost and expense of running the prison up there. And I believe that should all be looked at before the mayor, or not the mayor, but the governor jumps to this conclusion to say close this and close that, and not realize the impact it's going to do to a community, to the employees, and of course to the inmates as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Matthew Pendrak, Jefferson Township. I echo many of the things that Mr. Bolus spoke about. I know a number of people that work there. I'm here to support Resolution 1732 as well. SCI Waymart is not only a necessary part of the Pennsylvania correction system, but plays a vital role in good-paying, sustaining jobs that not only support local and county businesses, but the community at large. But more importantly, many families in our community. I grew up in a family of 9. My father worked for the Tobyhanna Army Depot, supporting a family. There was a commission called the BRAC Commission that would set targets on different government installations, and you know, it was scary times. 25 years ago, a number of the employees, they started a blue ribbon campaign, and they were on the bumper stickers, if anyone recalls. They were everywhere, you know.
I remember it.
And a lot of people were employed there, are employed there, and the closure, again, was so imminent 25 years ago that everyone rallied together. And we need to get behind local officials, state, and rally behind everyone and try and keep this going. And like Mr. Bolus said, we need answers. We need to know why. You know, but I support this, and I thank the commissioners for supporting it as well.
No problem, Matthew. Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Okay.
Joan Hodawanitz, 220 Linden Street, Scranton. I want to thank whoever is responsible for updating the website. I was able to get the agenda last night and the backup documents. I also saw that the prison board has documents on now, so the system seems to be working. So thank you for getting that done.
I'd like to thank our administration and communications.
Well, I
for
know
doing that
Mr.
for you.
Wallace,
Mr. Wallace and
probably coordinated a lot of that. With regard to 17-0023, the memorandum of agreement for the detectives, I have no idea how many county detectives there are. I assume it's not thousands or even hundreds. And in looking at this, this is a contract, and they'll be getting a pay raise starting this year of 4% each for each of the next 4 years. So compounded into a total of eventually 17%. As I said, I assume that there's not thousands of Lackawanna County detectives running amok through the county. So the number, you know, the impact on the budget may not be all that great. But my question is, how does this pay raise schedule compare to other employees in the county? Is everybody, you know, getting this type of pay raise? Because as I watch the local economy, wages have been stagnant for quite some time, and 4% is a big pay raise. So I'd like, when this item comes up, if that could be addressed, give us a sense of, is this an outlier because this union was able to get this arrangement, or is this going to be typical? And if we're starting to see this level of pay raises, then you need to look at the budget, the impact on future budgets, because it would be substantial. And then on item 17-0029, University of Scranton's applying for an RACP grant. Correct me if I'm wrong, but basically the money we're talking here is state tax dollars, correct? That goes into that grant? It's not
yes,
county
it's not
dollars, it's state dollars, correct?
Yes.
But nevertheless, I'm sure everybody here is a state taxpayer as well. So county tax dollars, state tax dollars, it's still tax revenue. Now I'm going to tell you a little secret. I'm a graduate of the University of Scranton. I've got 2 degrees from them. And I got to tell you, they are not hurting for money. No way. So they're looking to get $5,868,347 state tax dollars for this project, which is a worthy project. But I'm sorry, that's chump change for them. They do have the funds to handle that themselves. They don't really need that much money. I'm kind of surprised. Look at the footprint that they have in downtown Scranton. And keep in mind that they give the Scranton payment in lieu of taxes annually of $175,000 a year. They are not hurting, okay? And I don't know. I'm sure that the state has better uses for $5 million. If they don't, I think the county does and the city does. I certainly do. I'm not convinced, even though the project is a worthy project. Hey, when you apply for financial aid as a college student, the theory is that you need financial aid. You just don't give people money because they asked for it. I would like to see the rationale for why they need almost $6 million, considering the pot of money that they sit on. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. Okay.
Marie Schumacher. I guess I'll.
Can you give the address, Marie?
Oh, sure. 1799 East Mountain Road.
Thank you.
I will pick up where Joan left off. That is my primary comment, although I have a lot on the resolutions. I don't know why more of our tax dollars, and again, state tax dollars, should go to a nonprofit that contributes but a pittance to the city. And I don't know if they give anything to the county or the school board. But their website for their comprehensives on 2016 to 2017, they have an endowment to draw from of $165 million. We've already given them tens of millions of dollars for that streetscape ruining Mulberry Street, and I am opposed to any further tax dollars going to the University of Scranton. Okay, these aren't in any particular order, but I do have a few. First of all, 17-0026. It's got a lot of numbers, but it doesn't inform you on the service that is to be provided by the quote. I assume maybe we'll find out when the resolution comes up.
Kevin Mitchell will address it for you, Mary.
Okay, 17-0024. Which level of support are you providing today, the basic, prime, or the prime plus?
Jeff Mandel will be prepared to address that for you too at the meeting.
Thank you. 17-0025. The cost of the amendment to include Scranton is $610,200. Am I reading that correctly?
Dave Hahn will.
Dave Hahn is here, and he will explain that. I think you'll be satisfied with his answer.
Are future years maintenance only? Is this a buy? I know there's something like, no, I know there's no maintenance the first year, but it goes off, I think, 3 or 4 years, or maybe even 5. I would like to know if that's all that the costs are following this year's contract.
We'll make sure that's addressed for you too in the explanation.
17-0027. It says the term began 7/12/2016 and continues until canceled by a 30-day notice. Are we entering into a rental agreement 6 months late?
Which one is that? I don't see 027 on here.
It's our rental
Okay.
agreement.
It's an enterprise car rental agreement.
Okay.
And it says it started on 7/12/2016.
It's going to be beneficial to us. Kevin Mitchell will explain that to you too.
Okay, well, I just
I think
wonder why it's
I think you'll be pleased with that.
the
It's going to save
timing.
us money.
Thank you. 17-0017. Why does the county need a large freight car? And again, the paperwork backup says it started, they were going to report to start their work this past Monday, so why are we doing all this after the fact?
I could explain that further at the time, too, rather than take up your time now.
Yeah.
Myself and Kevin Shaughnessy will explain that to you totally.
Okay, thank you. 170022. Does the county own this? Will it be a park, and will it be fully maintained in the future by the county, or will they look to the city of Scranton or the Lackawanna River Heritage Association be doing the maintenance?
It could be a joint project, but Bill Davis, our Director of Parks and Recreation, is going to make a presentation on the boomerang bank to us today.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Again, 170023. This already began on the 1st of this year, January 1st, 2017, according to the backup. And I don't know why it didn't occur before the raise actually started, but I too think 4% seems a little bit high to me.
Brian Lawtney will explain our rationale for that, our Director of Human Resources, who recommended it to the board for approval, along with our Labor Council.
Thank you. 170028. There is no backup there, and I assume the efficiency in government project will be explained on what it is and who does it.
That one we're really excited about. We'll be happy to explain that one to you too.
Okay.
We're
and
hoping
then
we obtain that money.
The same thing on 170031. There's no backup. Is that the merger with the proposed merger with Luzerne County Department of Transportation?
George Kelly, who's never short on words, will be here to explain that one.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got a good explanation.
He'll try.
George always has backup. Okay, let me see.
It's okay.
Oh, 0007. Will that cover the supporting the Scranton stormwater study?
Geographic is going to be explained.
The GIS stuff, yeah. Is that going to?
Yeah, I don't believe it's going to encompass that, but they will explain that to you in the explanation, so that hopefully you'll have that before we vote on it.
Okay, thank you.
We'll do our best.
See you later.
All right. Jeff, make sure you address that, please.
Okay, all the directors that are here, you know, we need extra explanation and everything else, okay? Excuse me. Resolutions 17-0019.
This is our current payables. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby approve the following payables from the Lackawanna County General Fund, numbers 236-328 through 237-316 inclusive, totaling $3,201,865.46. Electronic fund transfers, including all payroll accounts, totaling $4,192,797.37. And our controller, Gary DeBilio, is here if there's any questions.
Gary, is everything up?
Or the county controller, I should say.
Yes, Commissioners, all the payables on the agenda today have been audited, approved by the Controller's Office, and paid. And if there's anything in particular you want us to look into, we'd be happy to.
Board have any questions for the Controller? I'd like to make a motion to approve current payables. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. 17-0032.
This is supporting the retention of SCI Waymart. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County supports the retention of jobs and improving the quality of life in our communities, whereas the closing of our State Correctional Institute, SCI Waymart, would have a devastating effect on northeastern Pennsylvania, whereas the facility has 732 employees with over 390 residing in Lackawanna County, garnering wages totaling over $60 million, this loss would create a tremendous impact. Whereas with over $100 million budgeted, the closure of SCI Waymart would do irreparable harm to the small businesses and service providers in Lackawanna and Wayne counties who do business with the prison are dependent upon that revenue stream. Whereas the movement of inmates and staff to another facility would create issues concerning security, safety, and well-being of correction officers and SCI employees. whereas of vital importance is the care provided in the only forensic treatment unit in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania at a facility. It is imperative that SCI Waymart remain open to serve the mental health needs of those incarcerated. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby strongly urge the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections to keep SCI Waymart open as forces are joined with our region's elected officials and prison management to ensure the protection of our families and the economy of northeastern Pennsylvania. And Commissioner Patrick O'Malley, who has taken the lead on this and attended meetings in Harrisburg and at Waymart and in Scranton, will explain and answer any questions on this.
First and foremost, Mark Truskowski, who's the PSCOA business agent for SCA Waymart, couldn't attend today. He was called to Harrisburg, so I'm hoping that's something good. With that being said, 732 employees gone. You know, let's put it this way. At the end of it, they would go to the highest seniority, and then the bottom would lose their jobs. That's what we're looking at. Of that 732, 391 of them live inside of Lackawanna County. The income alone for the 732 is $60 million. That's what we're talking about, all of our vendors, our stores, gas stations, restaurants. And you understand, there's 3 shifts. I mean, it's just like a hospital. It's open 24/7. And they have something that a lot of state facilities don't have. They have a forensic unit. A lot of people that are in jail have some mental issues. 80% of the inmate population have some kind of mental issue, which they're working with. Their special corrections officer and a special staff, and I mean staff, I mean talking about maintenance, secretaries, everybody, administration, they all really matter. And they matter to the economy of Lackawanna County and to Wayne and to Susquehanna, because that's where the vast majority is from. Just so we get a quick breakdown, this is what we have. 391 are from Lackawanna County, 194 from Wayne County, 52 are from Susquehanna County, 52 are from Luzerne County, and the 43 remaining are from surrounding counties. This is a big impact, and you cannot take 2 prisons and stuff them into the overcrowded other state prisons at this point. It will not work. It will get people hurt. It will get people killed, and it will be a catastrophe. The state has to vet this. This should be a year-long type of a situation where the vetting should go on before they make any decision whatsoever. It shouldn't be made this week. It shouldn't be made next week. It should be made next year if it's going to happen at all. And my concern is the impact on our county and the 732 individuals, because they all matter, and they matter to us in Lackawanna County. Commissioner Cummings, say a few words.
Well, I'd like to congratulate Commissioner O'Malley on his lobbying efforts out in Harrisburg. I know you spent a lot of time on that, and you know, each one of us has our own individual ideas, and you did what you felt is right in that area, and I congratulate you, even though you're sick and
Thanks.
have the flu and really should be home in bed, but you're still out working and lobbying Harrisburg. So it's nice to see someone that's serving in government doing so much in regards to what their passions are, and to try and help in the ways that they feel is best for the community. With that said, I don't feel that it's anyone's place in government to create jobs, but we do need to provide safety and security. So I think with this governor accepting the Medicaid expansion, he's looking at some major problems in funding that. I think we had 37,000 people added onto that program, and you know, they're going to have to make some major decisions, and hopefully next time around the voters will make the right decision. So that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Commissioner Terriani.
The economic impact on a quick study that was done by NEPA Alliance estimates it at a little over $65 million, and they expect it to be more. Now, this was a quick study put together because of the short time that's been involved. Now, NEPA Alliance is an organization in northeastern Pennsylvania who you know, broke it down into the employment, total effect, direct and indirect, is 857 employees. Labor income is $43 million. Economic activity is over $65 million. I think it's imperative to our area that it not be closed. That being said, there isn't anything we can do other than lobby state government. And that's what we plan on continuing to do. I think it's important to reach out to everyone involved in this thought process to close this. And I think we'll have to make sure that it doesn't happen.
The numbers that we have, the 732 employees, that's the employees. The others that Commissioner Terriani are talking about, will be vendors and everyone else that has business with them. But the number is 732, and 391 of them are from Lackawanna County. I'd like to just say that it was an honor and a privilege to go to Harrisburg to speak on their behalf. I had an opportunity at 3 different meetings to sit down with them, speak with them, talk with their issues, and have an understanding. I understand what Waymart's like. I've been into Waymart. I've dropped inmates off at Waymart. I understand what they do. It's a lot different than a regular corrections officer job. Not to say that it isn't as dangerous as any corrections officer job, but you're dealing with inmates that may have mental issues, so you never know what's going to happen next. So I would just like to say that I totally and utterly support SCI Waymart being kept open. It matters to Lackawanna County and to our 214,000 citizens, because this would have an irreparable effect if something happened and they were to close it. At this time, I'd like to make a motion supporting the retention of SCI Waymart. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 17-0007.
Entering into a proposal from Geographic IT. Be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby accept the proposal from Geographic IT to provide on-demand GIS operational and technical support services to be split between the Assessor's Office, Emergency Services Department, Planning and Economic Development Office. Contract is to begin immediately and expire on December 31st, 2017, not to exceed a cost of $63,900, which has been budgeted by Lackawanna County, and Mr. Jeff Mando, our Director of IT, is here to address this, and also please address the concerns that were raised by the questioners at the audience, Jeffrey.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is an annual renewal of on-demand support for GIS services for the Assessor's Office, Emergency Services, and Planning Departments. The not-to-exceed amount of $63,900 is shared between those 3 departments. This is the same agreement as last year, with the exception of the addition of support for a clean and green module that's being developed by Geographic. Following a review of this service, I feel that it's still valuable support to our county moving forward. This service is solely for the internal support for the application that the departments that I spoke of are using.
Okay. Does the board have any questions for Mr. Mando? Okay. I'd like to make a motion entering into a support maintenance agreement. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Jeff. 17-0025.
This is entering into a support and maintenance agreement. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby approve the support and maintenance agreement with Connex for the county's wireless network, 5-year agreement to commence immediately at a cost not to exceed $100,000 per year. And again, Mr. Mando is here, and he has some supporting documents to present to on behalf of Commissioner Cummings that she asked him to address that he'll be prepared to do this morning.
Thanks, Jeff.
Over the past year, our Emergency Services Department has been steadily migrating their public safety network over to the core of our countywide wireless network. And at this point, all of the county's public safety services are relying solely upon this network. Up until today, our wireless network was being supported by an on-demand support structure, which is considered reactive break-fix support. The proposed contract will be considered proactive. When it comes to public safety, reactive is just not working for us anymore. The contract will add 24/7 real-time monitoring of the network, tower inspections, proactive frequency adjustments, and many of other components that are not available to us without additional cost today. We're seeking 5 years of support at a discount at $100,000 per year for Prime Plus support. This contract will be budget neutral by utilizing the already budgeted $50,000 from our old contract, and the remainder will be drawn from the revenue generated from the network itself.
So when you say it's proactive, does that, and 24 real time, does that mean somebody's going to be hired for this position?
This will be monitored solely by Connex, which is the supporting agency for our network itself. They have 24/7 employees that monitor and research our network.
So we're paying basically for somebody to be on site?
We're basically paying for somebody to offer 24/7 monitoring of the network to fix problems before they actually occur. Would be
And
the
right
best.
now, we have that, it's just that we call them and then we just wait for them to show up, or what's the difference?
Right now, we have support in place by an individual that was hired in our county that only works 7 hours a day, 6 hours a day. And that individual monitors the network and then provides information to Connex, which actually works on the problems that occur on a need basis.
So what's the added value then?
The added value is the cost of doing firmware upgrades, doing tower inspections, monitoring the network, and adjusting frequencies that need to be adjusted before they actually become a problem. At times, currently, our problems are happening, and we're reacting to them rather than fixing the problem before it actually happens. And that could have a severe effect on public safety and the land mobile radio system that public safety is actually using, that emergency services is using.
And we just switched that, so what were we using for public safety before?
Public safety had their own network that was handled by a separate core system that was also microwaves. The cost of that was fairly high. I believe Dave Hans here, he could speak more of this, but I believe the contract was like $80,000 a year. That was actually freed up. As with a lot of the circuits that are going to the land mobile radio sites, those were freed up because they're also on our network. In addition to that, there was a lot of areas with land mobile radio that the county could not reach, and it was causing a lot of problems with the police and the fire reception for radio frequencies. So that was actually a benefit by using our network to reach areas that couldn't be reached before for the LMR services.
And this is going to add a $50,000 expense to our county. Now, actually, it's $100,000. And explain, is Mr. Durkin here? Because we still have a loan we're paying on, right, Mr. Durkin?
I could explain that as well.
Yeah.
When we had a lot of networks that were interconnected, and those networks cost about $476,000 a year to support our county, make connections to our buildings and such. What we did was we created a loan for 10 years. I call it a loan, right? A financial obligation for 10 years that actually has a debt service payment. That debt service payment, along with the support and the incidentals that come with supporting a network this large, we ended up saving money in our county budget by building this network without costing the taxpayers money.
But the debt service is $478,000?
No, the total budget that was freed up in our budget prior to that was the amount that we had in our budget before we built this network.
Tom, can you confirm that too? Mr. Durkin will confirm that numbers.
We were spending $476,000 a year.
And our debt service is?
Commissioner, the debt service on what we borrowed to build the network is approximately $335,000 a year.
$335,000.
So we set aside the $476,000 that Mr. Mando spoke about to cover that debt service, along with any incidental costs that we might have for the network, such as the maintenance agreement that is now being replaced with the new maintenance agreement. And we were paying approximately $50,000 a year out of the $476,000 that we set aside, in addition to the debt service. What we're doing now is replacing that maintenance agreement with an agreement for $100,000 a year, of which 50 will be funded by the same 50 that we were using for the other maintenance agreement. The other 50 will be funded out of proceeds from bandwidth that we're selling essentially to municipalities, school districts, and other businesses. So, as Mr. Mando said, the new maintenance agreement will be budget neutral. It won't cost us any additional money in the budget. Except for, as I said, we're spending the money that we're garnering from sales of bandwidth on this network.
So when you say bandwidth, we had to write letters to Verizon, Frontier. I only have 2 of them because that's all that was able to be found. When you're talking about broadband communications, I'm not an IT tech and I'm not an internet guru, okay, so I'm not going to pretend to be. This issue with this wireless system has been a thorn in my side ever since it came about, and I completely disagree with its use. So I want the people and the public to understand why. Now, we had to send letters out to Verizon, Frontier, and who else?
I believe Comcast and I forgot the fourth one, I'm sorry, offhand.
And I have the letters here for anyone that would like a copy of them to see them. But we basically gave them a 90-day window to put together a plan that they had to implement within 14 months to provide these services, correct?
Correct, but I could explain a little bit more in detail of what these documents were that were sent. The state has what's called Act 183. Act 183 is if a local government or a government agency is building a network such as ours, that we have to allow or investigate to see if there's any other companies or service providers that are out there that have exactly what we built or what we were proposing to build already in place. Now, this was a state mandate. We followed the state regulations on this, and we had Cohen Law Group from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which our expert legal team that actually work solely with Act 183 and broadband technology to write this and send this to serve it to the incumbent providers, of which were Verizon and Frontier at that time. And we also sent supplementary just to satisfy our own needs. We weren't required to, but we also sent them to, I believe, 2 other not as large companies in our area to give them the opportunity to build a network such as ours. Correct.
And it was Comcast, because I called Comcast back then.
Right.
The purpose for Act 183 is it's a political subdivision. There's a prohibition against political subdivision advanced in broadband services deployment. Now, the past administration and the current administration will be considering this as infrastructure. So they're taking up broadband services. You can't just take this from a company. You have to be able to say that they were not be able to provide the service. And that's the only way that we were able to do this, correct?
It's more for identifying the companies that already have a service that we were trying to build and put it into their footprint and sell services. It makes no mention of the county government building a network, utilizing a network, using it for public safety, our own use, or any other use other than being in their footprint and selling services, taking customers away from them, which none of which is a fact in the past or even today moving forward.
So the people that purchase this from us currently, would they have been customers of Verizon or Comcast? Could they have been, or did we?
Well, being that the responses from those two agencies, Verizon and Frontier, actually, they responded back to give us passage on our network.
Because they couldn't do this within a 14-month time frame. There's limits on this.
They didn't already have it in place. Therefore, we basically were able to do that.
Right. That's what I want the people to understand.
It's a little of both. It's to give them an opportunity to build something, because before we submit it, they don't know how big it actually is.
How long did it take us to put the plans together? Wasn't it 3 years?
3 years before we even got off the ground.
14 months?
Yeah, and it took about 3 months to submit that.
Commissioner Oteri,
I understand it.
Jeff, wireless network, what's the savings for new businesses coming in when they're building?
I'd say about 50% based on our current business model.
George, come up to the microphone.
Well, where does that come from, though, the 50%? From what? As compared to what?
It's regulated services. We've followed strict research for the area's broadband costs, and we also did an analysis based on how much individual companies are spending on internet service versus how much we can provide it to them without taking a loss.
Right, the government could provide it cheaper than a regular business, is what you just said, right?
We can, but we also
That's my
offer
point.
E-rate services and other opportunities that they might not have had prior.
Sit down. Okay. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to make a motion entering into a support maintenance agreement. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
No.
17, thanks, Jeff. 17-0025.
This is entering into an amendment with Tyler Technologies. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby enter into an amendment with Tyler Technologies on behalf of the Lackawanna County 911 to add the Scranton Police Department as an affiliated agency, and Mr. David Hahn, our Director of Emergency Services, 911 Center, is here to explain the impact this will have on the center with our agreement to take on the Scranton Police Department.
Good morning, Commissioners. Basically, all this is a memorandum of understanding between Lackawanna County and the City of Scranton in our joint venture of CAD, Computer-Aided Dispatch Systems. The City of Scranton has purchased a service from Tyler Technologies, as the county has already. We've already purchased, we have already ran the contract through the meetings, and it's to upgrade our computer-aided dispatch system. The memorandum of understanding is between the City of Scranton and Lackawanna County, stating that we agree to maintain our end of it, and they agree to maintain their end of it.
No financial obligation on the part of Lackawanna County, Dave?
That's correct. There is zero financial obligation in this memorandum of understanding.
Okay. Commissioner Cummings?
I have no comment.
Okay.
Commissioner Terriani?
I'm good.
I'd like to make a motion to enter into an amendment with the Tyler Technologies. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
17-0026.
Accepting a quote from Rapiscan, be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby accept the quote from Rapiscan Systems for service to scanners in the County Administration Building, County Courthouse, Adult Probation Office, Domestic Relations Office for a price not to exceed $23,100, and our Director of Purchasing, Mr. Kevin Mitchell, is here to explain this agreement and also address the concerns that were raised by some of the citizens.
Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is simply what it is. It's a service contract for our scanner machines that the public uses when they walk in to our facilities. And when we first bought the machines in late 2014, the machines came with a 2-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, if you will, for service and support components for the machines. That has now run out. We are on a 1-year agreement. That's simply what this is. We actually did it right this time. They were offering us a 3-year extended warranty at the time of buy for $38,000 a year. And we were able to get it for $23,000 for this upcoming year. And it's simply going to be bumper to bumper. Any problems with the machines, we call Rapiscan and they take care of it for us.
Okay. Commissioner Cummings?
I've got nothing on that.
Commissioner Terriani? I'd like to make a motion accepting a quote from Rapiscan. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, 17-0027.
Entering into a rental agreement, be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby enter into a business rental preferred rate agreement with Enterprise Car Rental. And Mr. Kevin Mitchell will explain how this is going to save the county additional funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Again, there's no obligation here with this preferred rate agreement. This is just simply allowing us to piggyback on the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's negotiated pricing. I think that's where that date comes from, Ms. Shoemaker. It's the date at which Enterprise negotiated or completed some sort of contract with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Our agreement will start the day that we have our commissioner sign off. We're under no obligation. It just allows us the opportunity to rate or rent vehicles at these prices.
Yeah, and that's just in an emergent, like if if
We
they're
do have a-
traveling.
Yes, we do have a pool. If there's no vehicles available in the departmental pool, and they're going to be going over the magic number 60 miles,
Heavy
then we have
travel.
that. Yes, we have that ability to rent a vehicle rather than have someone use their own personal vehicle and get reimbursed by the IRS.
Right, and we're going to have some oversight on that, correct? We're
Yes.
gonna have did you decide on, or no, it's just, did you do anything with that yet? Or what?
Nothing yet. No, we'll discuss that further.
I just want it in the notes, in our minutes, that there will be oversight in this program. We just don't want people renting cars. We want to know why they're renting them, where they're going.
Oh,
Who's
yes,
watching
yeah.
over that? 2 people need to sign off on it, all that. Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Terriani? I'd just like to bring everyone's attention beyond this other contract we were doing with Enterprise, that we had an old fleet of cars, old, dilapidated, needed work all the time. The costs were incredible. We had some vehicles from the 1970s, and Kevin Mitchell went out, Tom Durkin, Steve Burkowski, and they found a great opportunity for us to get this great agreement years ago, about a year and a half, 2 years, a year ago or 2 years ago?
It was July of 2015 is when we entered into the
2015.
Enterprise Fleet Management.
So that we have a turnover, what is it, every 5 years on our vehicles now?
Yes, sir.
Every 5 years. They said we had vehicles that were 30 years old. They were cost us a lot of money. And this is just an add-on to the agreement. I completely agree with it. Okay. I'd like to make a motion entering into the rental agreement. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, Commissioners.
17-0017.
Ratifying an agreement with Otis Elevator. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby accept and ratify the proposal for service and repair with Otis Elevator Company to repair the freight and passenger elevators in the former Globe Store, the now Lackawanna County Government Center at 12131 Wyoming Avenue, Scranton, at a cost not to exceed $36,590, and we did this under an emergency provision, and both Don Frederickson, our solicitor for litigation, is here to explain this if there's any questions, as well as Kevin Shaughnessy, our director of building maintenance, who will also address briefly that we also filed a fire claim on this, and we're going to attempt to recover all of these monies. Thank
Director
you, Kevin.
Shaughnessy.
Commissioner,
Good morning.
as Andy stated, this is to ratify an agreement with Otis Elevator for an emergency repair on our freight elevator at the Lackawanna County Government Center. On Wednesday, January 11th, around 7:30 p.m., I got a phone call. Scranton Fire Department was dispatched to the Lackawanna County Government Center where a smoke alarm was going off. We went through the entire building with the Scranton Fire Department. We kind of came to the conclusion that it might have been a bad head on one of the fire alarms. Next morning, EDM, who occupies the building, called and said that the freight elevator was not working. And so I called Otis, and Otis came, and they said, this thing was on fire, which, it had occurred to me that what was sending off the smoke alarms. So, as I said, it's an emergency. It's going to be an emergency repair. EDM has to move all of their materials yet. They have a certain date in which they have to be out of the building. So they need that elevator up and going as quickly as possible. And that's what this is about.
Kevin, would you also explain why we need a freight elevator in the building, which is so important to a building of that size?
Ms. Shoemaker, to answer your question, on a daily basis, our maintenance department, not only EDM moving out of the Globe Center, that's one part to the question. We move pallets of water, pallets of paper. Every time an employee moves, like from one department to another, we have to take all of their contents, desks, everything, in that freight elevator to another section of the building. Our maintenance department itself, like if guys are fixing lights and whatever they're repairing, they have to put sometimes 10, 12-foot ladders in a freight elevator. So it's a very important tool for us, for our maintenance department.
And if Mr. Frederickson explain the legal ramifications why we had to do it this way, please.
Well, evidently it was an emergency situation with the fire, and we're under obligation with the lease to EDM to provide them with a freight elevator because they have to move huge boxes of storage records in and out of the facility, and they're under obligation to actually vacate the building. Well, what's the date certain they're supposed to be out of there?
April, I think, isn't it? It's 1 year.
They had 6 months. They're actually 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ahead of schedule. So,
But they have to vacate the building. We'd given them notice. They had a year to vacate the building, and they're under obligation to get that out there by I think it's the end of April they have to get them out of there. But there's huge storage of records, as the commissioners know, in the basement that have to be moved, and we had to get that repaired. Additionally, under the county code, we're not obligated to have to bid that for two reasons. One, we're submitting it as an insurance reimbursement, so whenever we get insurance reimbursement, we're not required to put it out for bid. And additionally, in order to any utilities or public services of this nature that are maintained and already owned by us, we're not required to put out for bid.
Sure.
Okay.
Commissioner Cummings?
Good.
I have no questions. We've got the warranties and all that done, so it's really nothing much we could do but fix it.
Yeah.
That's about the bottom line.
Yeah, unfortunately, and you know, to further answer your question, maybe the reason why they have it down as the large freight elevator is because there's two freight elevators in that building, and this one being a larger one, that's why they described it as the large elevator, you know, large freight elevator.
Commissioner Terriani? I'd just like to explain, when Mr. Shaughnessy became the director of maintenance approximately a year and a half, going on 2 years ago, we didn't have a freight elevator that worked. And the reason behind that was because it was going to cost how much, Kevin? What were they saying, $650,000 to replace
They're
it?
between $350,000 to $500,000.
$1,000. And Mr. Shaughnessy came in after we went out a freight elevator for about 2 years. And how much did it cost to get it fixed?
It ended up being $62,500. Our
Yes.
freight elevator here, yeah. Well, this one here.
I just wanted to bring it up, though, because I know you always vet everything and try to make sure that we
Yeah.
save money. So
This one here, they started off at 38,000, and going back and forth with them, we got them down, you know, significantly on it. So
great. Okay, I'd like to make a motion ratifying the agreement with Otis Elevator. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thanks, Kevin.
very much.
17-0018.
This is entering into a cooperative agreement for our Gypsy Moth program. Be resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby enter into a cooperative agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for the 2017 Gypsy Moth Suppression Program, and Mr. Bill Davis, our Director of Parks and Recreation, will briefly address this annual renewal grant.
Morning, Commissioners. Commissioners, this is an agreement we've done in the past. We pay a per acre fee through the Department of Conservation Natural Resources for gypsy moth control. What happens is we have a coordinator that goes out and assesses properties where we've had complaints and an infestation. They look at it based on the acreage that we would submit, based on conditions. They then evaluate it, and then they send us an agreement telling us what they're willing to pay for and the areas that we will be controlling. The good part is that the work that's been done last year, the numbers have come considerably down. To give you an idea, we did roughly about 3,000 acres of spraying last year. This year we'll only be doing about 603 acres. The other thing is this agreement, we pay, it's not a grant, we pay the total funding for the spraying. Last year was approximately $150,000. This year it'll be $15,075. So the spraying is working, and we'll do what we have to do, but the cost is considerably less. The other thing that they've been able to negotiate is it went from $52 an acre down to $25 an acre. So there's a good cost savings there. It's a good agreement, and it's handling a problem that we have to do in the county.
So we'll be doing gypsy moth spraying.
We will.
Because we get a lot of calls.
Yes.
I visited a lot of houses in the past years, so everyone in the viewing audience understands we'll be spraying for gypsy moth.
You might want to check on the black fly suppression program too, Commissioner, at the same time.
That's something I think that's another contract, isn't it? The black
We've already entered into an
That one's
agreement
done.
for that. That agreement is, it's a multi-county program that the Department of Environmental Protection does, and I believe our contribution is about $5,000, and they handle the spraying and where that will be done in the county. So we'll address, we also get calls about that, but we are participating in that spray program as well.
And we also are keeping an eye on the Zika.
Yes, that'll be part of, when the contract comes up, part of the West Now program. So our vector control efforts have expanded considerably, but we're participating in all of them.
We're keeping ahead of it. Good.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions, Commissioner Terriani? Commissioner Cummings? No. Entering a cooperative agreement. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Bill. 17-002.
This is accepting a master proposal being presented to us by McLean Associates, proposal for UGI Brownfields, an agreement for professional services with McLean. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby accept the master site plan proposal from Thomas J. McLean and Associates for what is to be known as the Boomerang Park, and enter into an agreement for professional services. And Mr. Bill Davis is going to take a few minutes and explain this exciting new concept to the commissioners of what's about to happen in Lackawanna County in the next 4 years with your approval.
Commissioners, about 9 months ago, myself, George Kelly, and a few others started looking at the idea of a riverfront development for the city of Scranton. And it's not that it's a new idea, but the timing of this is very good, because there's a property that UGI owns in the city along the river, and they've already been mandated by the state to clean up the site. And they were looking for a partner to take over the property once that cleanup is done. What we're hoping to do with this master plan is study how, through public meetings, how the best use of the property. But our goal is to develop a recreation area, green space area, and riverfront within the city of Scranton. It will address, in fact,
Bill, why don't you put some of the pictures up to show everybody, please?
Let's see here. So,
Fran's going to give you a hand too, Bill.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you. If you could just, why don't you stand over there?
Joe, why don't you get the other one too and show them?
So if you look at the yellow area there, that's the property. Yeah.
That's the Boomerang Park.
This yellow area here is the property that we're talking about, and this is actually part of an overall plan that has been talked about in the past to develop beyond this, but this would be the first portion of it. And why this is crucial is this could be really a keystone for a lot of the development that's going on. If you tie it downtown there with the west side, with the south side, in addition, the trail, the Heritage Trail, there would be a bridge connecting that. And so we would have then a connection to the south side complex with the investment that the University of Scranton is making there. So it's a good use, and we've also looked at studies of, in fact, here's a concept of what it would look like when it was done. From an economic development standpoint, it could be great for the city because we've looked at other areas where they've done this, and arguably the river is our greatest natural resource, and we would be making a connection directly to it from the downtown. And with all the people who are now moving downtown, they would have access to green space that they could walk to. So from, you know, it's in the very early stages, but it could be a great project moving forward. And we're hoping that this will then cause, you know, some more momentum for development along the river. So, and LHVA has done a fantastic job in the development of the trail, and they've done studies on the economic impact that that has had, and we're hoping that moving forward this area would do that as well.
Bill, you might want to explain briefly to how UGI is assuming the total cost of the cleanup.
I will. What has happened is that UGI has been already mandated to clean up the site, and what they want to do is they were looking for a partner to hand the property over to, and they will absorb the entire cost of the cleanup and then hand the property over to Lackawanna County at no cost. In fact, there's a representative from UGI that I was going to have say a few words about the
Sure, I'd love for her to come say.
Yeah, you want to identify yourself too when you come up, please? All right.
Bill, also, I want you to explain where that's located, because from the past, people remember that's where the old gas company was, and you actually paid your bill. It's on the way to the trolley museum at the very bottom of the hill before you go up to the trolley into the
Well, the property has been owned by UGI for approximately 100 years, and it's been used for various things for their you know, their business. There's some, you know, because it was a compression station at one point, there was some contamination of the soil, which will be removed, and, you know, it'll be a clean site that will be totally green when we're done. So we're basically taking a site that has a contamination issue and then making a reuse for a green use that can be used for recreation and more healthier pursuits. So it could be great for, you know, the county moving forward. And
right there next to Steamtown and to the trolley museum.
Yep.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Ann Blaskowitz. I'm representing UGI today. I'm the Community Relations Manager for this region, and I just want to briefly say that we are supportive of this project in its early stages.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Does the board have any questions?
Bill, you might want to also explain it's a joint project with the county, Park System, Heritage Valley, UGI, our Community Economic Development, and the monies have been budgeted for this small amount to start the program.
Yes. I mean, what we're doing is it's a partnership, a great, I think, public-private partnership between UGI, Lackawanna County, and LHVA. Obviously, the close relationship between the trail and the proposed park makes it a natural fit for LHVA. But the reason we want to start moving on this master plan is that it will give us the resources through getting public comment to go after various grant programs, and LHVA would be a partner in those grant programs for the eventual development of the area as a park and green space.
Is there currently taxes being paid on that through UGI?
I'm not sure, Commissioner. I'd have to check on that.
Or is they free and clear of the utility?
They're a
That's what my
utility,
question is.
Commissioner.
Okay. Thank you.
I'd just like to bring it to the attention of the viewing audience and everyone here today that, the river 25, 30 years ago smelled so bad that you couldn't even drive over it. And then Bernie McGurl came along, and a lot of great other people came out and volunteered their time and pulled carts out and made sure that people weren't running their sewers into the river. And, you know what I mean, now it's clean. You can see the bottom of it. You can fish in it. And then, alongside of it, that was a dumping area. The trails weren't even there. It was a dumping area. And then, Heritage Valley came along with other chairmen, but currently Natalie Galvin built a beautiful trail that's along that river that doesn't smell any longer, that's beautiful and vibrant, it's natural, and it brings so much to the community. And I just see this as another great opportunity for us to revitalize an area that's it's blighted, and it's a brownfield. So, this is something I think it's worthwhile for us to absolutely look into and get the master plan made, at least, and go forward from there.
And you mentioned brownfield. I mean, we're going to be looking at various sources of money, everything from DCNR money to brownfield money, things like that, to help us develop it moving forward.
And so people, a lot of people don't realize, but there's hundreds of people that live in downtown Scranton, and there's going to be more in the future. And this is a park that they'll be visiting. Like, if anybody wants to take a walk around the courthouse in the morning, you'll see everybody out there walking their dogs and everything else. I think it's a real good opportunity for us.
Additionally, I know it's located along the river. Is that part of a flood zone, do you know, that would limit its future commercial viability? I mean,
I think it just because it's right on the river, I said that I would think, I don't know that for a fact, but that's a very good assumption.
I know a lot of towns in that have adopted in part of their zoning that you're not allowed to build within so many feet of any river or creek space because of flooding issues. So
I would say that's probably a good bet.
Bill, this will be literally 5 minutes from where we're at right now.
Yes.
A walk down to this park and this
Yes.
riverfront access.
Yes, and we've also reached out to, for instance, the mall at Steamtown. I mean, it's very close to there, so they like the idea as well because, again, from downtown you could walk and be, literally fish, put your hand in the water if you want to, and have access to the river, which we really haven't had, with the exception of Sweeney Beach, which is a recent development.
That's small. It's a small area.
Yes, to my knowledge, there isn't many public access points for the river in the city of Scranton.
And this is right on the way to the Trolley Museum, Steamtown,
Well, from a planning
just up the top of the hill.
From a planning aspect, if you look at where it's centrally located to a lot of our amenities, it actually ties a lot of it together, which I think is a good thing. But
right
to me, the biggest thing is
Bill.
having riverfront, within the city of Scranton, because I think the economic aspects of that will be great moving forward.
And anyone have ever seen the site, you'd understand why there's a lot of cleanup to be done. So if we're able to partner with UGI, that would be great. But first and foremost, let's get it cleaned up.
Yes. Yep.
Commissioner Terriani?
I think the important part of having this study done is that park and UGI can work together so that while they're working to clean it, it can be done in a proper way for the future plans of the park.
Yep.
I think that's why this plan has to go forward at this point.
You're absolutely correct, because we've already had discussions with that, and we're going to be part of the process moving forward.
And the other part of it is this is like phase one of what could conceivably be a much bigger park along the river, up further, behind the mall.
Yep.
Up further behind that also. It's a step in the right direction. It's a beginning, and
yes. Yep.
Great job.
If you look at the map, it goes up as far as Vine Street. It's big.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of add-on if that's something we'd look into, or other developers. It doesn't have to be us. It could be other people.
Oh.
And there's people who own property that are behind us, basically on the other side of Lackawanna Avenue, large acreage there that maybe want to participate, or maybe it'd be an opportunity to help with whatever businesses there. They have walk down to the river.
That's part of the goal, because when you look at other communities where they've done this, it could be a great economic engine for the city, having water. And it's a mix of, it's not just going to be recreation, but you could have retail, residential, all of that along the river as well.
Well, why do you think we build along river? You know what I mean? Water means life, so.
Yes.
And our water's clean there now. It's great, finally. Okay, Commissioner Cummings? Okay. Okay, I'd like to make a motion accepting the master plan site proposal.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, sir.
17-0023.
Approving a memorandum of agreement. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby approve the memorandum of agreement with the Lackawanna County Detectives Association Successor Agreement to begin on January 1st, 2017, expire on December 31st, 2021, and our Director of Human Resources, Mr. Brian Lawtney, will give his explanation as to why this is going to be beneficial to the Board of Commissioners and the people of Lackawanna County to approve the agreement at this time under the cost parameters that he defined.
Commissioners, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. This successor agreement between Lackawanna County and the Detectives Unit was negotiated at the negotiating table and not submitted to interest arbitration, which could have, number one, brought up some costs to the county and to the bargaining unit that wasn't necessary. So we were able to negotiate it fairly at the table without having to go through that legal proceeding with a neutral arbitrator. To answer some of the questions that were brought up earlier, there are only the number of detectives within this bargaining unit is 12. And they're doing the work of 24. So there is no retention problem within the detectives unit. They work hard. They are doing the work of 24.
Compared to other counties.
Compared to 23. Didn't they have 23?
No, they have 12, Commissioner. Compared to other counties, they're one of the lowest paid in the Commonwealth. And in their last contract, that contract did go through binding arbitration, and their compensation package was one of the lowest amongst the 7 that we've negotiated so far. So a 4% increase each of for the first 4 years and 0% in the 5th year, we thought was a fair contract, based upon the fact that their overtime is reimbursed back to the county through drug money that is seized, and their safety equipment is also paid for by the drug money that's seized. It's not county dollars. And more importantly, the district attorney himself had advocated for these increases because of the hard work that they're doing and keeping our streets clean from drugs.
Commissioner Cummings?
This isn't new, is it, this unionized agreement? Well, is this just a regular agreement between us, or what do you?
This is a regular agreement between the county and the detectives unit. It's a renewal. They were already a collective bargaining group prior. This is just a renegotiated contract.
Okay.
Commissioner Notarianni? Okay, I'd like to make a motion approving memorandum of agreement. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Okay. 2 ayes and no. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. 17-0028.
Authorizing the following grant application for the County of Lackawanna for Government and Efficiency Program to be located at the Lackawanna County Government Center, whereas the Lackawanna County Efficiency and Government Project entails construction, infrastructure, and other related costs of an acquired property at 123 Wyoming Avenue, Scranton, Pennsylvania, into a new center for Lackawanna County Government Services, whereas the County of Lackawanna is an eligible applicant for Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program funds as a source to finance the project, whereas Lackawanna County desires to obtain funding from the Commonwealth's Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program for the project, whereas Lackawanna County hereby authorizes the Chairman of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County to sign and authorize all documents except any awards related to these capital assistance programs. Now therefore be it resolved that the Lackawanna County Board of Commissioners is hereby authorized to file an application in the amount of $3 million to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program for the Lackawanna County Government Center. And Mr. George Kelly, our Director of Economic Development, will explain this agreement and also how the Commissioners have been lobbying the Governor's office and our local legislators, as this is one of our top priorities in county government. If you touch upon that, George, about some of Commissioner O'Malley's meetings, it would be helpful for the public to understand that.
I'll be glad to. Good morning, Commissioners. George. RACP, Redevelopment Assistance Capital Projects. Periodically, the Governor will actually float a bond to spur economic and community development in our communities. So he gets together with the Office of Budget and says, what is a good amount to allocate? They really haven't been too forthcoming in terms of how much they're going to do in this round. They're still working out the details. But it's an important program that helps the Governor achieve his platform, his mission as Governor in the state of Pennsylvania. High visibility, high impact. They usually have targeted sectors that they focus on. And what they'll do is they'll open up an application period for about 30 days for local governments, local municipalities to submit their priorities on things that will help them improve life in the economic development condition in the municipality or in the county. And they usually want these RACP projects to come through a county government or municipal government because we have the capacity to manage, administer, and do the projects correctly. And a lot of times we do it on behalf of entities or different groups within our communities. This one's exciting because this one is for the County of Lackawanna and our taxpayers. It's to benefit us directly. As we all know, that we're moving into a centralized government building down on the Globe Store. We are targeting a distressed building, a vacant building that has been vacant for a while, and it's been a tough challenge to be developed to provide a number of major benefits. It's a $17 million project. What we did is there was an itemization in prior acts and bills that will allow us to apply for $3 million for efficiency in government project, which is one of the Governor's main points of having governments that work and work efficiently. So underneath that umbrella of this itemization, we're submitting this for $3 million. It doesn't mean we're going to get it. It doesn't mean the Governor is going to look at this project favorably, but we feel that it's a very good application. It's a very fair ask for the amount of investment that we're doing, that taxpayers are investing here in Lackawanna County to help county residents, help the city of Scranton, a distressed city. We've been working very hard with our senators, state reps, and down at the Governor's office, regional offices, meeting and pounding the pavement. And
this would be our top priority, Mr. Kelly, for
priority.
Lackawanna County and these grants?
Yes, definitely. We will have this as the highest priority. Now, as our role as county government, a lot of times we will submit several RACP requests. And we do that just as a function of county government. It's not that we're jumping up and down saying we want all 17 requests.
As the next two that we're going to pass through, that's going to be the explanation for them. We're the pass-through agency.
And then when we get to University of Scranton, we'll talk a little bit more about that project because that one has usually been controversial in the past. We have submitted that project before, which hasn't received funding. Any questions, Commissioner?
Let's get some money for the Globe Star.
Cross my fingers and toes.
I'm hoping so. Commissioner Cummings?
Thanks for working on it.
Commissioner Terriani? Okay. I'd like to make a motion authorizing the filing of a recap grant of application for Lackawanna County efficiencies for the government project. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
17-0029.
Commissioners, this is authorizing the filing of a RACP grant application for the South Scranton area Elm Street
Can we put the two of them together or
Revitalization
no?
Program. And the next one that we're going to be putting together with it is a RACP grant application on behalf of the University of Scranton. Whereas authorizing the filing of this grant with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for the acquisition, construction, infrastructure, and other related costs for South Scranton area Elm Street Revitalization for South Scranton Women's Business Incubator Program, system, and whereas authorizing the filing of a RACP grant application, authorizing the filing of redevelopment assistance capital program with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania on behalf of the University of Scranton. These two grant applications are respectively submitted on behalf of both organizations as pass-throughs by Lackawanna County with no financial obligation on part of the county.
No money comes from us for any of this.
Nothing
They just
for
have
us.
to use us as a conduit to go through, right?
Yes, that passing through. This is an exciting project because it's partnering with Penn State and also the Scranton Foundation's Women Philanthropy. This project originally was slated to be an artist incubator, and they looked more and more in terms of the needs of the community. And United Neighborhood Centers are looking for new headquarters on the first floor,
That's what I was wondering.
actually on the second floor, and they're going to move this now to help women get started in business with the hope that they incubate there in that site and then move up and down South Scranton and populate South Scranton.
This is for that over that area that we already spent all that money on, right? Over
Yeah, there's
with
an Elm
Street.
Street program. You've seen as a poster child for
Well,
redeveloping
we didn't
blighted
spend the money
areas.
on that.
We didn't. They did themselves. They chased the money. We have helped them with small community reinvest grants in the past, but this is purely going after state money.
Okay, Commissioner Cummings?
I have nothing.
Commissioner Terriani?
Good.
Okay, 17-0029.
This is the last formal business item on our agenda today is 17-0031.
We didn't vote yet.
No,
Andy.
no, sorry. I'm sorry. I was just going through it, sorry.
I apologize.
No, I know. We're trying to, 17-0029 and 17-0030. Do I have a motion? I'll make the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Aye. Okay, 2 ayes and no. Thanks, George. 17-0031.
Endorsing and approving a cooperation agreement and the update to the Pennsylvania Transit Consolidation Report. Whereas the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation previously completed a study of the transit networks in the two counties to examine the feasibility of establishing a regional transportation authority to encompass both Lackawanna and Luzerne counties in order to establish a more cohesive and cost-effective system for the residents of northeastern Pennsylvania. Whereas the two counties and their transit systems have implemented certain recommendations in that report, whereas both counties and their respective transit systems want to update the study, evaluating the effectiveness of the changes, and determine what other areas could be addressed to improve the efficiency of the network, including financial service improvements. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the County of Lackawanna Board of Commissioners requests the Department provide additional information, update the study, and County agrees to participate in the study by providing assistance to the Department in provision of data and information, will participate in a working group comprised of one representative from the Lackawanna County Commissioners, one representative from the Luzerne County Council, two representatives from the City of Hazleton, one representing the city and one the Transportation Department, two representatives from the County of Lackawanna Transit System, one representing the board, one the administration, and two representatives from the Luzerne County Transportation Authority. Adopted this day by the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County. Mr. George Kelly will amplify our reasons for support of this resolution.
Mr. Kelly.
What we're doing is forming a task force, and we're putting together people from representatives from Lackawanna County, Hazleton, and Luzerne County to look at the feasibility of consolidating our transportation agencies. There's a study done several years ago, and as part of that study, there was a number of recommendations. One was to consolidate coordinated transport, the smaller rides, the arranged rides, with our transportation agencies. There were significant savings that were achieved through that. This is the next step where we're all going to get together and really look at the facts and the dollars and the savings, if any, of consolidating our transportation agencies. If we do achieve a savings, that would offset our local match that we have to pay every year to keep Colts operating. And that's to the tune of about $600,000 a year. So anything that we can save, we will be able to take that as a credit against our match for 5 years. So it would be a cost-efficient way of doing business if we could have savings. The way we achieve savings is by looking at, do we need one person in each agency doing the same job, or can we have somebody do planning in Lackawanna and somebody do these other functions in Luzerne and Hazleton? It's not a place where we're going to put people out of work. There wouldn't be job losses. It just might be a refocusing and redistribution of people We're addressing issues such as unions. We're going to address all that through the work plan of how do we deal with 3 separate arrangements, labor arrangements, and work through those. But in order for us to do this and participate in it, we need a resolution committing the county just to participate and open our eyes and say we're going to evaluate this and see if it makes sense for the taxpayers of Lackawanna County. And that's what we're looking for today, is just to start that task force, then to come back with a recommendation. It doesn't commit any money, just our time and energy right now to see if this makes good sense for everyone.
County Council, Luzerne County is doing the same thing right now with this.
Yeah, and,
time.
And then Hazelton too would also look at it, the 3 governing bodies.
This was talked about 2 or 3 years ago, and you know, it was supposed to involve a lot of other things. Like we were talking about like planes, trains, and buses, but this is the first step. I think it's definitely worthwhile for us to look in for our transportation needs for our buses.
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings.
No, I'm going to be interested to see what happens because I met with them. I have patients that, you know, they live, you know, a half a mile away from the Lackawanna County Luzerne line, and if their doctor is, you know, on Main Street in Music, which we have a few physicians there, and they live on Main Street in Avoca, they can't get a van to go there, which is ridiculous. So,
and that is a big challenge. And the actual transportation agencies are working together now, such as a bus pass that will work with both systems. So in addition to just looking at can we save a couple bucks and reduce the cost, it's how do we improve services? How do we get better services out there? Veterans have a challenge getting to the
I was just going to bring that up. The
Yeah,
VA
it's
is
a
the
real
other
challenge.
issue. It's just terrible because we could never find transport for them.
And it's a new world now. We have 2 intermodal systems that we can connect very quickly and not have to go through every little town, that if we can look to say, how can we get commuter service to the airport, to the business parks, and better focus those type of processes. The savings that we have would either go to reduce debt, which Luzerne County has significant debt, and they'd probably focus on that, and again, it's their decision. Ours would be, do we reduce our contribution? Do we improve our services? And how do we balance the savings if we do achieve any? But there's a lot of good things going on, even without the consolidation of us all working together regionally.
Honestly, and this, now don't faint or anything, guys, okay? But even if we didn't save money on this, I would approve it because of the fact that our veterans have such a hard time getting to the VA. I would absolutely be in favor of this, and patients need the ability to, they don't, everybody doesn't have a family, or, you know, they need the ability to get to the doctor's office and different places, and it's an absolute necessity, I think, for something to be done here.
One of the other things you voted on, I know you don't remember this, we actually voted on a community investment grant to help them to get a van to also help.
Yes,
to do that.
yes,
But this is
absolutely.
beyond that, because there's more than just that van. It's a lot more.
Well, that's what that is the definite community service that we're here to provide.
Sure.
You know, I mean, that is something
Helping our seniors and helping our veterans. Something.
I don't think anybody has a problem spending money on that, so.
Commissioner Terriani?
Cooperation and consolidation are certainly a step in the right
That's right.
direction for northeastern Pennsylvania. Thank you very much, George.
And that's why we
brother.
started off with the Globe this year. That's what it is, consolidation. Here's another part of it. Okay, I'd like to make a motion endorsing and approving the cooperation update on Pennsylvania Transit Consolidation Report. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, George. Okay, opportunity for the public to address the board.
Here we go.
Commissioners, Bob Bolus, Scranton. Kind of like the idea, the task force that we're going to put a consolidation and do some things like that, tying in Luzerne County to here, tying in different areas. I think it helps the growth. It helps reduce the traffic, and it's economically, I think, feasible when you look at the overall cost and savings down the road by tying both counties, especially Lackawanna and Luzerne County, together, and even tying in Hazelton, because that's our growth potential down there, and a future look at bringing in Monroe County as well into the task force, because that's got tremendous growth going on up there also. So there's been some good things here today.
Yeah.
Now we're going to give you all the bad things.
Yippee, go for it there.
Okay, you know, we started off
Bring it on.
in this county a long time ago with a lot of things, but the main focus point here is called City of Scranton. And I believe without any question, any doubt in my mind, that the county better pay strict attention to what's going on in the city of Scranton. Okay, it's been ignored. We played politics. I'm going to give you some insight here to what's been going on in this city. And I can't even believe what I've been reading and what I've been seeing and how we have ignored this administration in the city of Scranton, both the mayor, the council, and I hold the county accountable as well, because you guys got to pay attention to what's going on with them. They started off with a memorandum here, paying out money. They start off with the parking authority debt of $53 million in original debt. The city got roughly around $23 million. You know, there's still $30 million in debt. They have no way to figure out where they're going because they're liquidating assets. But all of the attached fees of roughly over $7 million were attached to this. Bills, invoices, not even itemized. I'll show you the attached. You still have $37 million long-term debt and no assets. We, the taxpayers, are stuck with $37 million in debt. It's a great feeling to know that no matter what we do in the county, the city's going to submarine us. And that's what's happening. I'm going to give you some numbers here. William Conaboy, an attorney, for the Scranton Parking Authority deal that he did here. $1,463,512.46. Are we that dumb and stupid that we paid that kind of money and nobody's opening their mouth about it? $1 million. There's not even an invoice attached here showing how many minutes.
That was a Scranton Parking Authority, though, correct?
Scranton Parking Authority.
Okay, and this is the Lackawanna County.
I understand that.
Okay, all right.
But I'm talking to you as the watchdogs over the city of Scranton right now, that this is what's going on in the city of Scranton, that I'm requesting the county start paying attention before we assist the city any further in what they're doing, because when the city goes down, it doesn't make a darn bit of difference because nobody knows anything about Lackawanna County.
That's a good point.
Okay, that's just one of the items. Okay, that's for the parking authority. That's great, really. And then there's another invoice that was sent out for a tax and sewer transaction, $115,000 plus. And then we go over and we look, that's paid to Abrahamson, Conaboy, $200,000. These are legal fees. This is, I mean, I hire lawyers, believe me, and I've got them all over the country. There's no way in hell I'd be paying somebody $1.4 million to represent me doing something. Okay? The best part of this comes, there's another one sent out to attorney Todd Johns for $33,000, but it goes on to the Conaboy, like totals out $1,578,000. I mean, what are we doing here? Then the best part of this, the beauty part of all this is the one I love the most. This is the applauding how we talk about the mall. The city of Scranton cut a check out to John Basiliga for $4,192,718.23. He's already prepaid for free parking in the city, so people could park in the city of Scranton free at the expense of us idiots, the Scranton taxpayers. And nobody said a word about it. What I can't, and I've been around a long time and I play politics here. I don't know why in God's name Lackawanna County didn't buy the mall. You're spending $17 million on a beat-up Globe store to revitalize it. You could have owned them all. Had the free parking, because what you did, you bought the Globe. You're spending 17+ million to revitalize it. And guess what? We got to come and park in your parking garage and pay John Basiliga to park in the parking garage because you did not buy the parking garage. Yet the city gave them another almost $2 million to fix up the garage they sold for $1. Now, commissioners, there was one deal that you could have bought for $1 in the city of Scranton. Think of the windfall you would have made. Look at the money you'd make just getting on parking fees, and you let it slide by. That's mind-blowing, okay, that we've done all this. We've spent millions and millions of dollars. We tout, well, we're going to worry about an elevator over there when you're blowing $17 million to revitalize the building, and yet everybody's got to still pay to park in a parking garage, and you let them all go by. You not only would have had a building that you could have put people in, you could have bought the Globe, and you could have bought the mall, had all the free parking in this county, and you would have been making money for the city. And guess what? We'd become debt-free if we just used our heads and economized. And this is what they're talking about, closing prisons, closing businesses. You'll figure out how to save and make money. But it's the cash cow that we, the people in this county, give everybody to spend. And now you turn around, you spend all this money. Look at the real estate development you would have had here. You would have owned the Globe, you would have owned the parking garages, you would have been selling out retail space, bringing in money. You would have increased the tax base. The most important thing in any community is increase your tax base. You haven't done that. You're giving free to the university. You refuse to reassess the mall that's assessed at $3 million. You absolutely refuse, and you have the power to change that to benefit the people, to underwrite our tax debt. Yet when it came to a church that I bought to save our culture in this town, nobody said a word, and I owe 50 grand on a $35,000 investment. Where's the fairness and equality in this county and in this city that's going on around here? That was going to be a development I was going to do, and kids pay free in the hall. Never charged them a dime. In fact, I've invested money in it for them. Yet I turn around and get penalized because I didn't play the political game in Lackawanna County, which I'll never play because I don't believe in it. I believe in the cold, hard facts, and that's what people don't understand. When you play politics, you don't deal with the cold, hard facts. And that's what happened here. You let the Basiliga, you let the city squander millions and millions of dollars, got rid of the parking garages because it was going to be a competitive issue between Basiliga and the people buying the parking garage. That's the name of the game in this industry. It's competition. It's like every one of us in the transportation industry. Geez, we better get rid of our trucks because we're going to compete with another carrier, and we're going to upset somebody. Common sense dictates progress. Common sense dictates profitability. And bottom line, common sense dictates what's right for the people of this community. Not the politicians, not the good old boy club or the good old girl club.
There's not one of those, Robin. I don't belong to either if there is.
I couldn't resist that. I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
Lauren. I couldn't resist it. You know, the bottom line is you have to make cold, hard changes and not political changes. You have to oversee the city of Scranton. You have to step in, watch their spending, and on top of that, guys, watch your own spending. This isn't an open door here. The city, you could talk about it till the cows come home, is broke. And no matter what you look at and how much you bring into the city, you're not getting anything in reward. You're not going after the university. You're not going any after the profits. Yet you keep giving and giving, and they keep taking and taking. And guess what? We can't afford to live here anymore.
I agree with you 100% on that last statement.
Thank you.
100%.
We cannot afford to live. I will not invest another dime in the city of Scranton. I was going to revitalize that church over there, actually turn it into a cultural center. I am not going to spend a dime on it. In fact, I got it up for sale now.
Good luck.
Because it's going to go, maybe, and if it doesn't go, I'll tear it down, which is something that would be heartbreaking to destroy the culture I stood up for in the first place. But because of the incompetence in this community and the inefficiency the way it's run, we've jeopardized the growth of the city. And I'm going to tell you a little more. I was involved very heavily in the Trump campaign, as we all know. I brought local, national, international, and worldwide attention right here to the city of Scranton. People came and rode in my trucks. People came to the campaign parties that we held here. They rode around from Dubai, from Paris, France, from London. There were over 25 countries that came here to the city of Scranton and participated in what I was doing here. Scranton was put on a worldwide map, not Lackawanna County, Scranton. The president today came to Scranton. And you know the saddest part of it all is, Pat, I'm going to name this right out here, Jerry, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, and I used to belong in the party, I'm a Republican, and I'm proud of it, but I'm an American first. When they came to this city, you put party to the side because you represent all the people. Now think how the president would be today, President Trump or Vice President Pence would be, and say, wait a minute, all you Democrats out there that didn't vote for us or you're Democrats, forget about it, you don't belong to America anymore. Think how that would be. He's there to represent all the people. So when a dignitary such as the president comes, are you guys going to go visit him now?
He wasn't the president at that time, Bob.
It didn't make a bloody difference.
Make a difference. Maybe to you it doesn't. To me it does.
It makes a difference to me.
It's called a campaign because it's a battle.
It makes a difference, Jerry. Let me set you straight. I'm telling you as a representative and a person who lives here in Scranton, in Lackawanna County, whether Hillary Clinton came to Scranton.
Go to Hillary Clinton's?
You're damn right I did, and my trailer was sitting right out in front of her place, too.
Trump sign on it.
That's right.
Yeah, it's.
That's right. What I'm telling you, no, Pat, what I'm telling you is that when our people come to this town, whether Republican or Democrats, and they're campaigning for an office as high as the President of the United States, no matter what their party is, you people represent us, and you should at least show up, say hello, and then walk the hell out the door. But you should welcome them to our community. That's your responsibility to us, the people in Lackawanna County, that put you in those chairs. And that's the damn difference around here. And it was an embarrassment to see you guys not do it. And I've traveled all over the country watching what went on, and I saw dignitaries from both parties come out and greet them on both parties and both candidates. We're not that high above anybody in Lackawanna County. But something comes around now, we'll be the first ones asking for help from that administration. And Lauren, you at least showed up, so pat yourself on the back. When he comes, you'll be the first one standing there.
I didn't go to Clinton's.
Okay.
There you go.
Thanks for not yelling
Okay.
at me, guys.
But that's the bottom line. If you're going to run our government, let's run it efficiently. Pay attention to the people in this community. Pay raises shouldn't even be granted until you even know where you're going. You're just throwing money down the toilet. You got to make cuts. You got to make costs. You're a business too. And don't expect us to keep supporting the county and the city of Scranton for their inefficiency in their management and mismanagement of the assets that's destroying what we are. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, Marie Schumacher, I haven't moved. 3 quick items. I know you had another meeting scheduled to start in 10 minutes ago. Number 1, I would recommend that you expand that transit task force to include all contiguous counties. I ran into the same problem when my mother was wheelchair bound, and I think, but it was Wayne County, so I think all contiguous counties. Okay, 2, did I nod off or something, or did you vote for 2 items at the same time?
He combined
I
UNC
combined the
and-
two resolutions. I had the approval from the county solicitor because they were both pass-through grants for RACPs. I combined the two resolutions.
But they were for
I
very
I
different
did
items.
that. I took
Okay.
the latitude of doing that too. Because we're running so far behind, there's a meeting scheduled at 12 o'clock. I apologize.
I would like to see my representative, my commissioners vote on each one.
In the future, I won't do that again.
And finally, the real reason I came today was to find out when the Chief of Staff's real property assessment status that was supposed to be completed at the end of last year, and we're looking down the barrel of February, will be
I'd be happy to
presented.
address that at the conclusion too.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Justine Yeager, 500 Vine Street. I am a librarian at the Scranton Public Library. I am involved with bookmobile services and outreach services. God love you, because I'm standing here today to really talk about quality instead of quantity, in the sense that I'm hearing numbers and numbers and numbers. I have had the privilege of working with the bookmobile for nearly 4 years now, often in supervisory roles. And as a member of the bookmobile team, I get to see everybody in Lackawanna County. And I know things are rough right now, but oh, the people of this county, oh, they are still in it. They're committed. I know it's easy for me, and I have the luxury to interact with them in a very non-political sphere. We see about 80 stops in a month all over Lackawanna County, and I've been on the front lines with bookmobile for about the whole time I've been back at the library, so I can vouch for this. We go to schools and daycares, we go to nursing homes, housing developments, community centers, along with parades, county events like Art in the Park. We are seeing people who cannot get to what I call the stationary libraries for whatever reason. The value of this service, like I said, I want to talk about the quality today. Anybody can run a report and give you numbers for circulation statistics and sign up. But there's a quality and a value in the bookmobile that is twofold, and it is something that encompasses past, present, and future. In the immediate sense, any community that the bookmobile goes into, they have a sense that the bookmobile is their own. It becomes, and not that they don't feel that with what I call stationary libraries, but we are literally driving into their homes, into their schools. I mean, not literally into the buildings, we understand. And in that moment, the bookmobile becomes theirs. They not only have a place to discover, they have a place to be social, just like Meals on Wheels. Sometimes that person's the only person the individual is interacting with. We have a 92-year-old patron at Gardens of Greenridge who's a retired doctor, spent most of her life raising her children in New Jersey. She's here. She has neighbors. She doesn't see them much, but you better believe she knows when bookmobile is coming. And we get to hear her story. She's happy for the interaction. Not that it's not important, but almost more importantly, children. We see children with autism spectrum disorders at NHS and New Story schools. Not only is it a place, the library's awesome, but these individuals come on and they get to practice their social skills, which is a very key component of the disorders, and they build their confidence. And now you have children who are at large, not sure where they fit, but they fit at the bookmobile. And I've had the privilege of seeing them grow for the last 4 years, and it's an amazing, because it's the experience. The future, right? We see adults, we see children. Majority of our patrons are children, and what do we care for? We care to get them excited about learning and to become informed citizens, and of course to love books. Literally, these children's eyes light up. And let me again extend the offer. You are invited to join us any day on the Bookmobile. I am not exaggerating when I say their eyes light up. Oh my, it is magic for them, especially if they've never been to a library, because again, these are individuals that for whatever reason cannot get there. And it is transformative. It is magical. And it's magical for us on staff as well. And like I said, you have an opportunity to instill a love of learning in a child. You have that child forever. And so thank you to the commissioners and Lackawanna community, the Lackawanna County community as a whole. The support that we have to be able literally to roll into these neighborhoods and offer people a bridge to the library, or a library that they otherwise could not be a part of. Like I said, there is no way to put a number on that value. And so thank you for your time and your support, and look for us at the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, Commissioner Cummings?
You're kidding, really? We're done?
Yeah.
Where's the pitchforks and torches today? We only had one? Well, guess what? It's my turn.
Oh, boy.
Okay. I thought there'd be more. Sorry. Put those to the side. Bob Bolus was talking about the prison situation, which obviously you guys were lobbying this past week. And, you know, he brought up Scranton. And, you know, Scranton always likes to just throw those jabs right at me up here in Lackawanna County Commissioner seat. Never, ever, you know, I mean, I don't bother those people. I don't know what their problem is. But, you know, I read the paper. I mean, how do you condemn somebody else when your own house isn't in order? Can somebody explain that to me? Because in today's paper, we're talking about a city tax in limbo, residents fight continuing triple LST. And what did they say when we had what? We went from $35 to $100, and they're tripling out of payroll taxes. Oh, don't shake your head at me, Andy.
No, we didn't pass that, is all I was trying to tell you. We didn't
I know we didn't.
pass it, yeah.
But that's not the point. My point is that, you know, I don't think anybody in glass houses should be throwing stones. So maybe next time they can, I implore them to not do that and knock it off. The other thing on Bob Bolus, he was talking about no reasons were given for the prison. Well, I'll tell you that the reasons that are given is because we now have a new president, and there's going to be some changes in federal funding, and I'm sure there's panic mode everywhere. So, you know, I know we got some calls yesterday, and I'm not sure how it's going to affect us. I'm not going to dwell on it, but you know, there's going to be some changes, and frankly, I'm looking forward to them. So I'm thrilled that President Trump is doing his job, unlike others that say they do and they don't. Joan, thanks for coming in. You talked about the detectives. I think, well, I voted no on that. So, yeah, and did you get all the answers that you were looking for on that?
I'm not sure how the detectives' pay raises compare to other proposed pay increases for other county employees.
Yeah, I know. You know, that's what threw me, because I thought that this was a new unionized agency, but I guess that's a different one, so I'm mixing them up. But I will get back to you on that.
Say, you know, basically they're the lowest paid detectives compared to other counties. But I just want to make sure that you're going to need some kind of equitable pay policy within the county, and you also have to be able to work it into the budget.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for bringing that up. And Marie, I think, well, you gave us your last three questions, so if there's anything, I'll look on that one. SCI Waymart, I already talked about with you. I would really love it, and I think I'm going to do this. I think I would love it if we had our community stand behind companies like Cinram as much as they do SCI Waymart. You know, I mean, we have a company that's announcing job losses at Cinram, and, you know, how are we assisting them, or how are we rallying for them? So you know, I think I'm going to take that up on my own and make sure that I start making an effort to go out and see companies like that are struggling and see what their issues are, and maybe we can do something for them. The detectives I already talked to you about, I'm in disagreement with that 4% increase. I had requested a 10% cut. At our first meeting for the reorganization, Jerry had said that he would have agreed to a 5% cut. I look forward to working on that with you, Commissioner Natariani, because I wasn't aware of that prior to that, you saying that in the meeting. So this year I look forward to working on you with that. Being a watchdog over the city of Scranton, please. You know what? That's just not going to happen. If you want to be a watchdog, then you run for office and you do it yourself. But Bob did make a good point. You know, I had a company here that I met with, and, you know, we watch all these homes being lost to tax sale, okay? Thousands of homes being lost to tax sale because they can't afford the taxes. I've watched a woman in a nursing home lose her home last round, and I mean, it's heartbreaking. Now I have companies coming here, business owners, owning property that's worth zero balance. They owe money on the loan. They owe back taxes. They're going to go up for sheriff's sale. How can we help them? So first it was the homeowners coming up here. Now we're right at the businesses, nothing. And they said, congratulations, the taxes have already reached a point of $0 is what my business is worth right now. Zero. They can't sell it and make money. They can't keep it and make money. So the best thing that they could do is just walk away, just like the homeowners had to do for the past how many years. I'm hoping to God that that changes, because I am really tired of seeing that happening. And now that I have businesses coming in, it's heartbreaking. Maria, thanks for coming in and talking about the transit program and the property assessments. Property assessment status, I know Andy was working on that, and we have been getting updates on it. And as I've stated, I'm against the property assessment because of exactly what I just said. Now I have businesses coming in here saying that their buildings are worth zero at this point. They can't sell, they can't keep. What do? They're not making money. Their payments are above any profit they can possibly make. And any tax increases that would ever be discussed here would have to be. Yeah, I know, I'm getting to that. I have a lot to talk about, but thank you. I'm sorry, everybody, but, you know, I still have a stack. Thank you, I appreciate the reminder.
You would ask me to call it to your attention.
Yes, I know you did, and I appreciate that, Andy, because I have so much on my mind, and I do forget, so I appreciate it.
I just want to make certain you have it.
No, I appreciate that, thank you. And Justin Yeager, did she leave? Oh, that was awesome. You know, I love the Bookmobile. Thank you so much. Good job. And the library, you know, I love when you guys come in. You always, like, brighten our day with good things.
I have to say it. We have so much in this room that we're divided on. But at the end of the day, are we not public servants, and are we not here exercising?
That's right.
To discuss
Good job.
what's going on? Yeah,
Absolutely great job.
It's important.
Yes, it is. So thank you for your work, and I love the Bookmobile, and I just think it's a great service that we provide. So thanks for coming in. I also, about public services, I want to mention, as Andy just gave to me, the fact that I've been trying to, somebody told me that they don't get ECTV up in the Carbondale area. So I looked into that, and I want to take the time to publicly acknowledge Adams Cable Service for agreeing to televise the bi-monthly Lackawanna County Commissioners meetings on their local channel maintained by Adams Cable. Yeah, so it wasn't before, though, so that...
We've been doing it this last year. Start sending them up.
You start sending the tapes up? Because they haven't been putting them on. So this is just starting now. And I wanted to acknowledge Wendy Hartman, who was instrumental in arranging for the access to the public. And Fran, for your help, Fran Pantuso. It's really important that people get to see these meetings and understand what's happening, because obviously you can't believe everything you read in the paper. So, you know, as long as you could see it in real-time video, you know, or on TV. I mean, when you see it on video, it's you can, now you know what's actually being said. So I wanted to thank them and John, my attorney, John Sarah, for his help on that as well. So thank you. You going to talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Arts and culture. I don't believe that the Speakers Bureau was a necessity that we needed to spend money on, and I agree with, and obviously my fellow commissioners didn't either. They felt it was an expenditure that was just too high, and when people are losing their homes, it was not appropriate. So, you know, it's interesting that when, you know, you see, and I hate to bring up Republican, Democrat, because it's really not about that. It's about people. But when you see the argument, it's always, Republicans, they're obstructionists, they're not compromising. And I am a Republican. I believe I have worked with this board and compromised on many occasions. And this was a compromised budget. Now, you would think that people in the public would be saying, finally, we have a government that actually works for the people. It was a compromise between a Republican and a Democrat administration. So I guess it only works when you compromise for the other side, because this was my compromise, so it just wasn't good enough. You know, I'm really getting tired of that. I'm really tired of seeing, I'm just tired of us getting the raw end of the deal on those, when it was a really good negotiation between two people. And the headliners just come out and, you know, you never get recognized for what we actually did. We did a lot of work last year. I mean, a lot of work. It was a good year for the county. We didn't raise taxes. We had a compromise on a budget plan. We have a brand new building. We're going to be going in and consolidating offices. And, you know, it's frustrating, and I understand that's my job, and people say, well, you're the commissioner, you have to take it. Yeah, I have thick skin. You know what? These things, that's what I think of them. They don't bother me. What bothers me is when you bring down the citizens to not realize when things are actually going in a good direction, and you have these infighting. I mean, look at our inauguration of our president. Now, what a disgrace it was to see people throwing things through windows, beating up people. We had how many arrested? 200 and some people arrested. What a despicable display. Because it's a Republican man? That this doesn't happen. If that happened at President Obama's inauguration, there would be holy war here. But it didn't. It's supposed to be a peaceful transition, but it wasn't, because people, you know, I am the sitting commissioner, and I couldn't even go out there to see the winner of my party, because I couldn't get a hotel room, I couldn't get a place to stay, all because we had protesters out there taking up space that I could have been sitting at to honor a man. I hope they do an investigation into that in the future, and I hope that they stop protests on Inauguration Day, be it Democrat or Republican. That is a shame. That is just an absolute disgrace. And then to have women running around the streets with an actual vagina attached to their head is despicable on a rally. I am, those women that were out there with pussy hats on their heads and vaginas on their heads, you know what? It's a disgrace. And they don't represent me. I am a female woman Republican commissioner, and they don't represent me, and I don't believe they represent anyone I know, whether they're Democrat or Republican. And I think it's about time that this stuff stops. It's a disgrace. And then I have our local newspaper. I'm not even gonna recognize them. I'm just not.
Watch the language part.
Watch the language. They was on national television.
You know, well, this is
You have national well, this is what we're seeing on national television, Pat.
I don't control national television.
But, well, I understand. But it's got to be said. This has got to stop. It's got to stop. It just has to. I mean, when are the people going to calm down and stop this craziness? It's craziness. I see some of these commentators on our like, I don't usually read the paper or the Times. You got them depicting us as what? I don't even know what we're supposed. You can't even recognize us in these cartoons because they're so horrendous. They're horrible. There's just no decorum by any of the media, or it's just terrible. But I am very thrilled about the fact that the 45th president was inaugurated, regardless of all the nonsense going on, and I am very proud of him. He's done a lot of work, and he's been doing everything he said he was going to do, and so are we up here. Whether we're Democrats or Republicans, we're working on everything that we said we were going to do, and I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of being a part of this board, regardless of how we think individually, and no matter how much they want to try and rip and shred us apart, I won't be the one that allows that to happen. I can tell you that, because I'm very proud to be able to get things done for our county and save us money and do it in an appropriate manner. And I've done that. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I'm very proud of my work. And, you know, I stand by every decision I've made, and I'd be happy to talk to anyone when they have a problem with my work. They don't need to set up an online petition. They can come right here and talk to me. I'd be happy to talk to anyone that has any questions in regards to the things that I'm doing or why I'm doing them, so that they don't end up getting egg on their face like they usually do. So thank you very much.
Good job.
Yes,
Lauren.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Bob. Oh, yes, sorry. It is, hang on, I gotta grab it so I don't mess it up. National School Choice Week, and if anyone's interested, you can wear yellow to represent that. And I'm proud of the fact that we nominated someone that I think is going to be doing a great job, Betsy DeVos. So National School Choice Week. Thank you, everyone.
Commissioner Notarianni?
Thank everyone for coming. I don't think I have anything further to add to some of this. Bob, we can't control, we don't have the authority to control what the city of Scranton does. It's not within our ability. Thank everyone for coming and appreciate your concerns.
Free speech, Jerry.
Okay. I'd like to thank the library for being here, for the bookmobile. It really matters. The kids really enjoy it. It comes to all of our arts engaged in the parks. Yes. It's really great. Bob brought up about the contracts and stuff. Well, there's two words that put us in a situation where we're working with binding arbitration, so we always got to be concerned with that. Also, I really believe in the GLOW project, and two of the Board of Commissioners do too. The mall would have been a huge undertaking. The cost of any build-out would have been monstrous. It would have been self-contained, at least with the Globe store. It's 255,000 square feet. It contains exactly what we're looking for. It lives inside of the leases we currently pay with the savings. We didn't want to increase millage, and we did not want to increase taxes for the people of Lackawanna County, and that was our reasoning behind it. And it fits just about everything. This past Sunday, they had a picture of me in the paper, and it's funny because it's basically saying like that I'm deciding to be for the arts. I've always been for the arts since I got here in 2012, which is just it's mind-blowing because they know our record and everything's online. They can pick up on it anytime. They know exactly where I've been since January 4th of 2012. I would just like to take this opportunity to respond to John Cole's editorial cartoon in Sunday, January 22nd, 2017, Sunday Times. The cartoon depicts my position as having changed me, now favoring a financial support for the arts of Lackawanna County. this representation is disingenuous at best, intentionally misleading at worst. In my time in county government, the record has shown that I have always supported the county funding arts and all of the allocations passed from 2012 through the current year. And during the vote for the annual allocations for the Everhart and the Cultural Center, I have always voted to fund the arts. This is easily verified by review of the minutes of our meetings, which are posted on county website, and facts to the editor of the Scranton Times and Tribune are well aware and should be aware of this because we are transparent. As the only daily newspaper in Lackawanna County, the Times Tribune has an obligation to its readers and the public to accurately and truthfully report the news. In this instance and others, I could personally recount it has fallen short, very short. Last year in the Gallup poll, it showed that Americans' trust in media to report news fully and accurately and fairly had dropped 32%. It is the lowest level the Gallup poll history. For me, it is easy to see why this is the trend. To the readers of the newspaper, I implore you to take what is reported about me with a grain of salt, and as the facts are not what they may seem to be. I am asking the Scranton Times for a complete retraction of this week's cartoon and some other things. Thank you.
Yeah.
Also, I'd just like to wish everyone a happy, safe Super Bowl on February 5th. And if you're going to celebrate, don't drive. Thank you. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mr. Wallace was going to respond to my
Oh.
Yeah,
status of this study.
I apologize. At our December meeting, I did request the county commissioners at our public meeting for an extension of time to file the report. I found it to be a very complex situation that has been taking up a tremendous amount of my time. I've conducted several meetings. I've been to Monroe County. I'm scheduled to go to Wyoming County tomorrow to meet with their folks. I'm trying to put something together. I'm hoping to have something in early February. I'm doing the very best I can, but I don't want to just give them a piece of paper. I want some substance to it, and I'm trying to get some real data and information for the Board of Commissioners to look at it. So I hope you understand that, and you'll work with us, and I will get it to you in as quickly as I can.
I would hope you'd move out of Pennsylvania and go to someplace like Fairfax County, Virginia.
I haven't looked at Fairfax County, Virginia. I've been to Monroe County. I'm scheduled in Wyoming County tomorrow. I've been to CCAP. I've met with the folks in Harrisburg and in State College, but I haven't looked at things outside of Pennsylvania, to be quite truthful with you. But I will try and do it within. I'm trying within the next 30 days. I hope you do understand that it's much more complex than I thought.
I understand, but there's also
Right.
NCSL and all kinds of organizations.
I'd be happy to meet with you if you have other information. What's happening is people are bringing me forth information and reports, and I've been meeting with different departments and individuals, and I'd be happy, call Tracy Hart, I'd be happy to meet with you, and any information you have, I'll include in it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
We're going to immediately start the pension board meeting, which is only going to take us